All right, we're live. What's up, guys? My name's Speedy. Welcome to NotSoSpeedRuns. We're here with Blades in the Dark, 6 and 20, Phantom. We are back. We were off last week, but we are back now. I want to take a second to thank Johnny for that subscription. Your free kittens will be arriving shortly.
There are kittens involved?
No, wait.
When if you DM at Mapotsend.
You have to DM Mapotsend and you'll
I'm on it.
Get them.
And it is important to note that the supply of kittens is limited, and we basically have to wait until your particular kitten, because it'll have a serial number on it, when your kitten is born, and we can send it to you. But please feel free to do the other thing that they
Everybody
say.
in chat, use the code #KittenTastic for your chance to win.
More kittens.
Just DM at Mapotsend.
At Mapotsend.
On Twitter.
If you guys aren't following Louise on Twitter, you should do that so you can see
No.
whatever
If you guys
tweet
aren't
she tried
following
to do.
Mapotsend on
Mapotsend. Shleia! Oh my god, Shleia, thank you for that sub! Oh god!
Shleia!
Oh man, I need to get
Free
more
kittens.
kittens.
We need more kittens for all these subs.
Someone call up
I'm fresh out of
Mapotsend.
kittens. Now I gotta. Oh god. All right. Let's get into things. Let's go ahead and start going around to our cast. Thank you everyone for those hosts, by the way. But let's go around to everyone and see how you're doing tonight and say who you're playing. Trendane, we always start with you.
We don't always start with me, but I guess we're doing it this time.
Almost always. This time, for sure.
My name is Trent Sparks. I'm a professional voice actor, person kind of thing. One of the things that I really love with regards to this show is PG tips. Who doesn't love PG tips? In fact, this is so, I can't even smell it because it's still wrapped in its protective anti-kitten plastic. It's amazing. But I'm playing a character named Hocus, and he is a whisper he traffics in ghosts and spirits and demons and gross shit like that, and occasionally, very rarely, but occasionally, free kittens. Ooh, MadameGandalf.
I have yet to see that. Real quick, Slade, thank you so much for that sub. I don't know how much it would cost to ship kittens to New Zealand, but
Don't do it.
I'm sure Mapotsend is right on it.
New Zealand is the northern part of Australia, right? So,
Yes.
MadameGandalf. Are you angered that I said that New Zealand was the northern part of Australia? That looked okay.
Slade certainly would be.
She's out. Never
Slade is
mind.
unsubscribing.
She's gone.
We are our own individual country
Huh?
of hobbits. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
You know, it's funny that story is actually British in origin.
Oh,
Mm.
speaking of,
I will leave and never come back.
I finally know.
Also, I don't remember the hobbits wearing that hat. Just.
Well, she's in the middle of taking them to Isengard.
They probably all took turns wearing it at one point, but we really don't talk about that.
I'm just not quite sure it would fit, you know?
Oh, it would, just not well. Anyway.
Maybe this is where all the kittens are. They're just all in that.
Do you know what PG tips, what the PG stands for?
Pretty good.
No, actually.
Pretty good tips, you know.
No.
It stands for free kitten.
Amazingly, no. It actually, the P stands for pre-jest, which is what it used to be called. Pre-jest tea. But the tips specifically refers to the fact that when they're harvesting the tea, they only take the top 2 or 3 leaves and the flower, because it comes from the tip of the plant. That's where the tips come from. Anyway, sorry, never mind. It just reminded me of the thing, because England is Australia as well. So, MadameGandalf.
Well, okay, so my name is MadameGandalf. I think you all know that people know me as MadameGandalf. And you can find me everywhere as MadameGandalf. I am here playing Ari, the overly sensual, the overly confident, and the overly, what would the word
Drunk.
be?
Drunk, very hot.
Lascivious.
drunk. The overly drunk, or what's when you there's a word that means where you make decisions without thinking too much. Brash,
impulsive.
That's kind of one.
Impulsive.
Overly impulsive. Lady of the night. I can't word anymore.
Fortunately, this game doesn't involve words of any kind. So.
Oh yeah,
This
luckily.
is our silent
It's a-
episode.
A dice-only game.
Just like the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where Joss Whedon got told that he was using too much dialogue. We're gonna not use any dialogue this episode, and we're gonna see how it goes.
We're gonna do charades for the whole 3 hours.
As soon as
Get ready.
As soon as we start playing, the screen's going black and white, and no one is allowed to talk.
The episode wasn't black and white. And
This
it didn't
one
have
is.
no sound.
This one is.
And you
This is how we avoid copyright.
It's just the same. I mean, Giles was playing music when he was doing the briefing and everything, and then it was like, how do we get rid of them? And Buffy pulled this, well, she didn't pull a stake out of her purse right away, but she was like, and everybody's like, what? No. And she pulls the stake out of her purse. She's like, can you stake them? It's like,
Yes!
oh no. It's like, I love that scene so much. Sorry, Madame Gandalf, go. Or did you already went?
Oh, I already passed it.
Okay, sorry. We'll continue on around the clock. It's Jaffa clock.
Fucking hell.
It's my favorite time of day.
Things are already in shambles every time by the time it gets to Joff. Like,
My name is Joff. Owlbare on Twitch here and on Twitter there. And I guess I'll do the thing.
No, you don't have to.
It's
Yes!
It's bear, as in, not as in. And I play Sesereth Grines, also known as Jinx Godefur, also known as Brynn, also now known as Roth, and soon to be known as Twilight Sparkle.
I'm picturing Grin as becoming like Daenerys Targaryen with so many names. She's like, my name is just Sesereth Grimes.
I think
Grin.
I already have
Rider of
two
goats.
names too many. I need to sort of reel back 2 of those identities.
Hyphenate them all together.
Grin is a cutter, which in Blades of the Dark means he likes to cut people, not himself. He likes to cut other people. He is also a war veteran and an alcoholic, and he's beginning to wonder what the fucking hell he's doing with these people. 'Cause of reasons, and I'm done, Speedy.
He's done.
good.
Yes!
It's good.
Slade, yes!
Slade! Oh my god, Slade gave a crit to Madame Gandalf for that New Zealand pride.
Oh my god.
Alright, Louise.
Hello, I'm Louise. I play Sling, also known as Esther, who is very much overly a dead child. So things are going well in the world of Esther / Sling. Things are always well. Sling is a sharpshooter. She's got a bit of a lore problem, and she's got a dog that's also a ghost, that's also a pug, that's also called Goat. Things are very confusing in the world of Sling. Also, do remember #FreeKittens. Do DM at Mapotstend for more details. He will be getting back to you imminently. Back to you in the studio.
My god. I am Speedy, and this is my thing. We're on this channel that is me, and I am playing as Sky, aka Jericho Schuyler, who's got a bit of a grudge against the entire city of Duskfall, and wants nothing more than to just watch all of it burn. After our last plans kind of fell through, he's been just trying to survive and also trying to find a way to save his sister, who is trapped in a spirit bottle around his neck. She's been dead for many years, and he's been tending to her ghost, but hopefully we'll be able to help her soon, maybe. Let's go ahead and get into things by turning things over to our wonderful DM, Video Store Cowboy.
Well, guys, last week was interesting for you.
Oh, it wasn't?
Are you sure?
Yeah, we didn't do anything last week.
Were you bored? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you bored?
Yeah, we didn't do anything last week.
Oh,
I
like
got
you
to
didn't.
watch.
Nothing of note happened, I don't think.
Speedy be Dream Daddies together, so that was quite interesting.
Oh, sorry. 2 weeks ago. My bad.
Now you're
you know what?
going.
All right, that's guys. I'm sorry. I quit. See ya.
Credits roll, end season. We win.
Phantom wins.
We
You guys win.
defeated Johnny.
On episode 106.
Last time, if only we get to episode 106, we would be Critical Role territory there. Last time, you guys spent a great deal of time running across the city looking for Sling, who you subsequently found and floored the table as they found out that Sling is not Sling anymore. Sling is Esther. And the surprise about that is that Esther is the ghost of one of the children that was murdered when the tower came down. So
Murdered. I mean, really.
Murder.
would you like to describe it in another way, Trendane?
Yeah, she's dead.
No
why
one's
is she dead?
responsible.
Gravity and blunt force trauma from a tower that was stupid enough to fall on her.
But how was the tower stupid enough to fall?
It doesn't have a brain, Johnny.
Claim your workplace accidents now. At
0
Hocus.
days since last accident reads the
Exactly.
sign lighting barrier.
Exactly what he's.
At
Pretty
McCourt is
okay.
running accident
All right.
lawyers for you.
So
Wasn't our fault that Duskfall engages.
Have you had a
in-
workplace accident involving lightning barriers? Call McCourt.
and we'll send you free kittens, right?
Yeah, your compensatory kitten, you know?
Of course.
Okay,
That's how
so
my insurance works.
you guys eventually found her all the way in Night Market near the Spirit Wall, where you went and took Clav at that one point to have him feed, and subsequently had a bunch of interesting encounters too. Having collected her from there, you made your way back to safety in the Vale, trying to identify what you were going to do next. And where we left off was Hocus coming in to check on the child, that is Esther, and hearing a song he's not heard in a long time coming out of her.
That's right. Okay, I forgot about that part.
And so we're going to. Oh, you forgot? I'm surprised that you forgot about that part.
Well, it has been a long time.
Just 2 weeks is not a long time. Screw
Hey,
you, buddy.
In the life of a tsetse fly, it's like an eternity.
A what?
Tsetse fly.
A what?
Tsetse fly.
Please indulge us with your educational,
Lingo.
presentation. Teach us. Show us.
I can't show you a tsetse fly. I don't have one here.
All right.
Here's
Anyways,
one I
let's
prepared
get on with the
earlier.
game. So
Yeah, okay.
you walk into this child humming a tune that you've not heard in a long time.
I'm sorry. Did she tell us her name?
She did.
Esther.
Okay, all right.
She did tell us.
Okay. D&D is not a game. You shut your whore mouth. Well, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. It is not a game. It is a lifestyle. It is a life choice, and it is God. Unlike some other people. Stream.
How dare you? Hashtag
Easily.
God.
Easy. So, Esther, where did you hear that song?
The song?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I think I may have heard some of it at the well. It's a beautiful song, isn't it?
Yes, it is very old. A children's song from many lifetimes ago.
How do you know that song, mister?
Oh, perhaps it would be best to say that I am a little older than I look.
I don't think you're that old. I'm sure I've met older.
It's possible. It's possible. I do not know your the story of your life.
My life?
Mhm.
Well, not much to tell. I'm just Esther. Just a poor, helpless little child that, well, you killed.
See, there I think we have differing opinions.
You disagree?
Yes, I do.
May I ask, Mr., what part of my statement that you so do disagree with?
Perhaps it is a question of perspective.
Do you not think you killed me? Or the others, who were my friends? People who had opportunities and lives and people who cared about them. Have you ever had anyone that cared about you, mister?
More than I can number.
And have they ever gone out because somebody decided to drop a lightning barrier on them?
Interestingly enough, no. However, some of them did lose their lives in less than fortunate, and in some cases quite horrific circumstances.
Then you know what it feels like. I may be young, mister, but I know the feeling of loss all too well. I may be dead, mister, but I know the feeling of pain all too well.
Of that there can be no denial. That is not the source of my alternate perspective, but...
Then, what is it? Just me and you here after all, the others are gone.
Oh, I doubt that very highly, but... To answer your question, in my opinion, whether the lightning tower had dropped upon you or not, you would probably be dead by now anyway. The thread of your life was due to be severed. I have no doubt. Yes, we brought down the lightning tower, but everything outside of that tower, while that was not our intention for the lightning tower to fall upon you, we knew full well that everything out there would come in here and feast upon everyone here. There was no doubt in my mind that people were going to die. I accepted that, and I feel no sense of guilt for it whatsoever. We all live, we all die. We make our own path. If you're trying to make me feel guilty for what has happened, yes, I admit there was some shock at first. But most of my lives I have dealt with this kind of...
Oh, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, mister.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I'm just... Well, see, this person, this thing that I've inhabited, well, it's interesting, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You mean you say that you felt no guilt? That it didn't matter? Well, I think whoever is in here disagrees.
Disagrees that I feel guilt?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well.
See, she seems to hold you in some regard. I don't know why she... Hocus, isn't it? The man who dared to hope.
Fool, yes.
She pitied you, you know. Or used to.
And now neither of us do. So enjoy your song. May it bring you whatever comfort there is left for you.
I hope it does, mister. I hope it does.
Then in that, we are like minds. And Hocus will turn and leave.
All right.
Okay, so we'll cut. You guys last time were talking about what you were going to do about the Sling situation privately from her. and there didn't seem to be a consensus. You were also talking before you chased Goat halfway across the city. We're talking about acquiring new essentially either lodgings or some sort of mobile transportation that would also serve as a base of operations. There's a couple of the things I'm going to throw your direction from your Rook network, but at this point, I think it's really on you guys to kind of tell me where you think you want to go next.
I think it's around time we got this thing out of Sling's body.
Agreed. Plus, the whole kitty thing is just kind of creeping me out now, really.
How would you feel about that, little one?
Am I there for this?
Yes.
I'm wondering if I'm there for that too.
Well, she had been placed in a different room so that you could have essentially an adult conversation. So you can bring her back into the room.
Come get me.
Or, the scene transitions to you all being in the same room. It's really up to you guys.
Yeah. So, you say you'll leave our friend alone if we help you find your parents? That's the deal?
That's the deal.
All right. We're heading out. Lead the way.
I need to message Johnny something real.
You are more than welcome to. So while that's going on, you were placed at the Vale in subsequent safety, and you have a little bit of downtime there. So a little bit of just, a space between, you get like a sort of a break a little bit, like a day or two of just like, kind of recuperating and with that, and just kind of recollecting your thoughts and kind of getting reorganized as a group. In that time, the Rook network brings you a couple of pieces of information. The first being that a new candidate has also announced specifically for the alderman position of Crowsfoot, running in contention against Raymond Bowerstone is Horace Keel. And the current rumors about Keel are not much is known about him. He just kind of came out of nowhere. But he appears to be platforming on a campaign of hate, blaming the Skovlins, the refugees inside of Doskval, for the sabotage of the lightning barrier tower.
Mm-hmm.
Thus stirring up some resentment among the Skovs around the city. And there has been some rumblings of a raid by the Bluecoats on Kellens to identify the ringleaders of this potential problem. And it's really the sentiment around the city appears to be turning towards hate against the refugees of the Unity War.
Exactly, Kayla.
So, what you're saying is we have to pick someone to back, and there's one who wants to run on hate, and that's kind of scary, so we may have to pick someone from another side?
Oh, I mean, if what we want is... what we want is to cause destruction, then this discontent could be useful.
Can we maybe try and turn him into our puppet of sorts?
With a man like that, it's easy to get him to play into your hands. Well, assuming we're not afraid of a little contention with the scoffs.
That's a
I don't know if I like where this is going.
That's a really interesting set of statements, and I'm watching Joff's face and imagining what Jinx is really thinking right now. Not Wrath, not Grin. What Jinx is really thinking right now.
Jinx is screaming. And Wrath is drowning him.
Okay. So along with that, there's one other piece of information that they bring you as you guys begin to shift towards what it is that this whole resolution for Sling that you're trying to get with through Esther. The situation in Crow's Foot has not improved. It's not clear again why it's still under complete lockdown. But as of this point, it's no longer a circumstance of just as a result of the explosion in the south, eastern end of southeastern end of Crow's Foot. It's at the warehouse. It appears to be that there's a lot of unrest being stirred up among what's left of the Crows and the Lamplacks. And that's why martial law is still very strict in that area, and that's why entry through that district is being completely restricted by the Imperial Army at this point. There are ways in through the Gondoliers, and that's how certain businesses are continuing to operate. But for the most part, it's still not clear why exactly. What in particular it is, whether it's who's stirring it up or what's going on. But there's a lot of disinformation and a lot of rumor going around. So that's it.
All right.
Ari will run for mayor.
3
You
candidates.
have my vote. 3 kittens for every vote.
3 kittens for every TM to
Any word of Martin Gull in Crow's Foot?
Only that he has been seen in the public eye again among the Crows. He is not publicly stepping up. Still operating as a private businessman at this point. But the one of the rumors floating around is that he's actually causing the chaos to facilitate his own means to an end.
All right. Good to know. Martin Gull being a former leader of the Crow's Foot who now just owns a bar, and who I have a bit of a grudge against. But
who you have a bit of a grudge against, who has a bit of a grudge against one of your other player or one of your other characters, because you didn't return a particular book.
Oh, that's true. That's also true.
I can't believe you forgot about that, Speedy. I'm really disappointed in you.
I forgot that Martin Gull was the person there. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. God, I'm excited to play him again this weekend, or this weekend, next weekend, whatever. Anyways, let's go to Esther's parents.
Brightstone.
That's the one.
He was in Brightstone.
Wrath, are you okay? You sound pained.
Just picturing us getting to Brightstone. That's all.
We've done crazier things.
Yep.
No, I don't think we have.
That's actually pretty much, that would be the new crazy thing. So if we can accomplish this, we can do anything.
Sounds like an adventure.
Oh, good.
How are the streets looking to Brightstone? You said Crow's Foot was still under martial law, but is the rest of it kind of calmed down at this point?
It's martial law is still officially engaged across the entire city. But Brightstone is the only, Crow's Foot is the only place where movement is actually restricted. Otherwise, it's being monitored at this point. The Lightning Tower's progress, you begin to see the framework starting to go up for the new Lightning Tower to improve the barrier again. The camp, the noise and the chaos of the camp and it being on that southern part of the city is visible because there's a lot of bright light that comes from it, which is the spark rights actually working. So you see a lot of flashing and that kind of a thing. And they appear to be working as fast as they possibly can, but the towers going up is very slow. So you would know that given the announcement that was originally in the Imperial Times, that martial law will probably be enacted until the tower goes up and things are secure. Just for the safety, according to the public, the public notice, for the safety of the citizens of Dosqual.
Got it. All right. Gondoliers seems like the best way around the city at this point. Think we could catch a ride?
Do you have the coin?
I'm sure we can arrange something.
Did not necessarily sound like a yes. But all right.
Let's get going.
Might I recommend disguises, since we're going to literally one of the most well-patrolled districts. We may as well be going to White Crown, to be honest. We should
All right, I'm happy to disguise.
We should try and look the part, because the moment we walk down a street, we're going to stick out like several sore thumbs.
Let's go with Imperial soldier outfits.
So look
and-
official is what you're saying.
Yeah, we've got 2 of those and a blue coat outfit.
Have they
I
been
can work with
laundered?
that.
I would think that given the time, you would be able to launder them. No problem.
Okay.
Cool.
No
All right,
longer
let's get
bloody.
into uniform. What are we gonna do about the man-child or the woman-child we've got with us?
She can
How do we
ride on.
disguise her?
She can ride on one of our shoulders. No, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
We're gonna have to put Sling in a disguise as well, and we're gonna have to mask her or hood her because of her veins.
Oh, that's no problem. I've
Okay.
hidden those before.
That's true.
And Ari starts, you know.
Makeover time!
Esther's probably just a bit like, what? Who?
We need like some 80s like happy like makeover music and like now what is it, like a montage scene
Yeah.
as everybody gets like turns around in their chairs and like suddenly they're in their like new outfits. And we're like,
they all freak in
no,
somehow.
not that outfit. They turn again. Like, no.
It's like they keep
Not
coming out of like,
that
the dressing room and they're like, no, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so-
As a
That's the
firefighter, nope.
Get some disguises going. And well, where's Brightstone exactly? Could you ping it on the map for us, Johnny?
I would love to.
Disguised. It's like Clark Kent style.
So let me ask you this question. You're going to Brightstone for what reason in uniform?
Find
You
my
go-
parents.
That's mostly.
We're going to find Esther's parents.
Right.
Mama.
Mom, dad, papa, mama, papa.
Okay.
The little girl gone got killed.
Hocus is okay with this?
Hocus is no.
Hocus, would you like to express some discontent?
Hocus is trying to. He's trying to work it through, figure out some way to deal with this that isn't his his gut reaction. Because his gut reaction would probably not end well.
Okay.
Thank you. That's my gut reaction to most things in life.
Is what?
Seppuku.
Close. Close.
For me, it's
wouldn't-
Tums.
It wouldn't be with a sword. It would be with a lightning hook, and it wouldn't be on himself. Hocus is
Use
That's
a
a
spoon.
threat, Esther. That's a threat.
Oh,
You should use
It
a
would
spoon.
be if
I'm
he
quaking
had
in my size 2 child boots.
Uh,
Has
Okay,
Sling suddenly
Hocus-
shrink
Hocus,
down
do
to
you
the
have-
size of a child?
Hocus, do you have any other ideas?
Hocus hasn't said any ideas yet. He's just kind of sitting as far from Esther as he can on the
Rude.
boat and just sort of staring off into which, he's just sort of staring off into the
I'll
water.
kind of turn to Hocus aside from everyone, and just be like, "Is this a bad idea?"
Aren't all of our ideas bad ideas? That's what's so good about them.
You made me a promise.
I'm saying this so you can't hear it.
That's why Hocus,
You
Covering
heard the
the
child!
that's why Hocus is sitting very far away from her. That's
I made a
one reason.
promise, Mr. Frodo.
I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. If I can't carry the child, I'll carry it. Continue, sorry.
Damn it, he's so hot. Anyway, ever since the day I saw his butt in the movie Toy Soldiers. Oh, Hercules. Anyway,
We're good. Okay, guys. I'm going to bring it back in a little bit. The reason I'm asking the question is because there's a lot of preparation, but I'm trying to understand how you're actually going to approach this and treat it like a score. I'm just looking for to help you guys kind of guide it a little bit into so that it makes a coherent sense as to what your ultimate goal is with this score. If it's ultimately to find and release Esther's spirit by finding the parents, that to me seems to be like it's almost an occult circumstance. So on one level, it feels like Hocus might be driving that a little bit more in his experience with dealing with possession and spirits. But if it's more of like you're deceiving Sling's possessed body with Esther, then it almost feels like a different type of occult or even deception, right? I mean, if you're trying to get her to reveal whatever her true nature is, I'm just trying to gauge the way through in this respect.
perhaps this will help. So
Okay, that's great. I would love that.
Hocus, yeah, okay. So Hocus sort of turns towards Sky and very softly under his breath. If I were to be completely honest with you at this moment, as far as I'm concerned, our attempts to grow into Brightstone are beyond foolish. And I honestly think that what would be a far better plan is to kill her and go do something else. I don't trust her. I do not believe she genuinely means to simply say goodbye to her parents.
Are we all hearing this except for Esther right
just-
now?
I think
Or
it's
is it just
me
you
and
two?
Hocus.
Okay.
Although, if you wanted to listen in, I wouldn't expect any less from you.
Right, no, like, so.
Hey guys!
Hey guys, so I heard you talking about secret stuff.
That you're gonna
Um,
kill Esther. What?
That you're gonna kill Esther. I'm kind of down with this plan. What makes you say that?
I don't trust her. I just don't trust her.
I certainly don't either, but I don't think killing Sling is the right idea either. She is, if nothing else, valuable.
I do not deny that.
Is there a way to do both?
And he will sort of run his fingers along the ghost hook and glance at Sky like, you've been through this. You know what would be required of trying this.
There's a chance. I mean, it would be a better thing than just straight up ending her. But Hocus, do you know another whisper by chance? Or somewhere we could find someone who might be able to do such a thing?
I know one, but she is otherwise indisposed and not in Duskwall at the time. And if we could get to her, we wouldn't be in this situation to begin with.
Just our luck.
When I went to look in on her, she was singing a child's hymn from 12, maybe 1500 years ago. Something I have not heard in a very long time. She claims possibly she heard it at the well. She also said that Sling used to pity me for being the man who dared to hope, but that she doesn't anymore. So
She's playing mind games.
Either Esther is playing mind games or Sling's perspective is changing. I am growing more and more tired as time goes on. You all had someone on that boat. My only interest was to get the hell out of this city, as far away from here as I could. To be perfectly frank, if I lost every one of you along the way and made it back home to the well, I would be fine with that. But now the circumstances have changed, and now I am once again stuck with all of you. So, I am a hair's breadth from giving zero shits about Sling's well-being. We need to find a solution to this, whether it is me trying to shave Esther out of her and hopefully freeing Sling in a way that she does not retain any of this child's influence, or we just end it all. And we try to gather what scraps we can, part ways, and I get the fuck out of this city. I am tired of this.
I understand your discontent here. The situation is not one that I anticipated nor wanted to get into. But it is best to put these emotions aside. I have one more idea. A favor to call in. And, I'll gesture to the Gondolier to come over. And I'll say, here, let me give you your payment. And then as he comes close to accept, I say, change course. We're going to the residence of the Dimmer Sisters.
Whoa. Okay.
Ooh!
So he looks at you really strangely for just a second, sizes you up and down, looks over at Hocus, and he says, Are you okay with this? And when he asks you that, Hocus, you're again reminded of the true power of the Gondoliers is not just that they're transport on the waterways of the city, but they have an ancient tradition. I mean, they have, since the beginning of the darkness in Dulsquall, they have been responsible for keeping the city safe until the spirit wardens took that job from them. So their judgment is on the same level of the traditions that you... Oh my God. Sorry, guys.
Goat, it's okay. Goat, it's fine.
Calm down,
It's
go.
just a fish. It's just a fish with tentacles and suction cups. And relax.
But so are you? I mean, are you okay with? I mean, he's you know that he's asking you because he knows what you are. He understands.
How?
Because he's a gondolier.
Okay.
He knows the taint. He knows the
Pardon,
he
what was that, Johnny? Sorry, I think my earbud fell out. You might need to repeat that. Sorry.
Over and over and over. Somebody clip
Wow.
that.
Did anybody
Somebody clip that.
He knows. It's like anybody in the trade would know each other, right? They would know, in the ghost field, or they would know the presence. They would see the tools. It's almost like a smell or a secret handshake that it's just.
You're the one picking these damn descriptors, man. Taints and tools and smells. Please, dude, come on.
Bringing it back in.
Thank you.
He looks to you and says, I mean, he takes Sky's coin, but he looks to you and says, "Are you okay with this?" Because he's been looking at the child and then back to you, and then at the child and back to you, as he's trying to figure out what's going on. Because he knows something's off about Esther. Not Sling, that there's something off about Esther.
And he starts to respond to the gondolier, but instead turns to Sky and says, "Why would you take us there?"
They have knowledge of these things. I think they could be of use. And not only that, the way you described her knowledge, what Esther has been saying of this ancient him. If there is someone in the city who knows of it, it would be them. And I happen to know that they have taken an interest in the spirits of the young in the past.
That doesn't sound dodgy at all, Sky.
The day we first met, I brought a letter to you from them.
That you did?
Is that what this is about? Is this
They
the
know of it.
favor? Is this the favor that they owe you? Something you did for them?
I think... yes, I would say so.
All right.
I cannot say that it will be sufficient, but I will say that at the very least, entrust them with a small amount.
All right. So, if it is not sufficient, and they demand more, are you willing to surrender that? And I point to the spirit bottle containing Sky's sister.
Absolutely not.
Then we need to have a backup plan. And no, looking at the gondolier, as you can probably tell by now, I am not okay with this. The risk is possibly too great. If we work this plan through, figure it out, and we are certain that we can walk away from this more or less unscathed, then I will consider it. But right now, and given what you just said, you are not entirely comfortable with the possibilities either.
I don't consider that to be a possibility, Hocus. At the very least, it is not a risk. If that is what they demand, then we leave and we find another option.
And if they decide not to let us leave?
That's not something they'll do. But we have ways, if need be, fighting back.
He'll look at the gondolier and Sky and say, it's your boat, it's your fare.
Gondolier looks to you.
Destination is the Dimmer Sisters.
As you wish. Pockets the coins. Moves back to the rear of the boat. Takes up his implement, steering the boat through the canals, and you slowly make your way to Six Towers.
We're going the
Where-
wrong way.
Shh, 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 shh. It's okay. We're still sorting things out.
We're going the wrong way.
Can we put a gag on her?
Why are you taking me the wrong way?
Hold on, real quick, on the map, can you show us where we are going?
So you guys are currently in you're currently in Night Market or leaving Night Market, right? So I'm assuming you're right around here for the gondoliers, right? Because this is Night Market here.
Mhm.
You want to go to Brightstone, which is right here, which is where Esther is claiming that you need to go in order to find her parents. Six Towers is this large neighborhood here. It's the abandoned district where the Shroud's Eden is, and also where a number of other interesting landmarks. There's the Rowan Estate, the Balmore Estate. There's the Skurlock Estate. There is quite a large park that Whispers know of that has a very large spirit well that is visited, by a number of spirits in the area. It's a huge attractor. So if you were going to Brightstone, or if you were going to Brightstone, you would probably end up going, this way and then through all the way to here.
Mhm.
But if you're going to Six Towers, more than likely you would start by going, up this direction towards the lightning barrier. And so she would definitely know that there was something off by the way you're going.
The gondolier mentioned there's more guards on the direct path.
How dumb
take
do you
it.
think I am?
Rough,
Trick
well,
question.
answer
Serious
that one.
question.
That's a trick question.
You made a deal.
Esther, remind us how old you are.
You don't break deals with the dead.
Hmm.
We don't break deals with Sky either, but look where we are now.
On a boat, a gondolier with a child that you murdered. Yes, congratulations.
Oh, I like her. She's sassy. We can keep her.
And then I push her in the water.
And then I punch her.
Still on
So
the
the con-
cards.
I'm thinking it's a good time to knock her out. Deliver her the same way I delivered that other girl to the Dimmer Sisters.
Oh, that's a horrible, horrible thought. But okay. But so you continue on towards Six Towers at this point. And
I suggest you turn around immediately.
We're not going to do that.
Well, it's not my funeral, is it?
It's not ours either, but you don't see me complaining.
I swing that punch, but what I do prior to swinging it, and this, Johnny, is where I'm actually going to use that newest ability, Ghost Fighter.
Okay.
Because on the quiet, previously, Grin was seemingly pretty disturbed by the spirit veil, by everything that goes with it. Well, he's actually been learning how to attune to it. And specifically, he has been learning how to fight spirits. So, as he pulls back his fist, he inhales, and he's inhaling some of that spirit veil. And then I imagine Hocus would be able to see this without attuning. I don't know if anyone else would see it, but basically my right fist just lets off a little vaporous glow, and I'm going to try and clock Esther/Sling in the jaw.
Okay, before we resolve this, I'm going to ask you a pointed question.
Uh-oh.
What are you expecting to happen?
The way that Esther's talking, Roth's hackles are up. And before, I could announce to the rest of the boat, this isn't a kid. But I'd much rather punch her.
Okay.
Because the threats aren't coming from a child.
Sure, but that doesn't answer my question really, though. What are you expecting? Are you expecting it to... So when you throw your punch at the ghost, are you expecting to knock the spirit out? Are you expecting to knock both of them out?
Both of them out.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to ask the table one other question. And it's going to be kind of leading. And then I'm going to have you do a roll using your ability. The question I'm going to ask is, what does the table think would happen when he hits her? Is it going to be a circumstance where he knocks the spirit out? Does he knock both of them out? Does he dislodge the possessing spirits? Because typically when this is used, at least from my reading in the book and the examples that I've seen that are talked about on a couple of forums, what happens is that this is typically used to fight a spirit that is not corporeal or not like possessing a body. This is something that you use to fight in something that's like, incorporeal. That is a circumstance of you're fighting this, this vaporous thing or this thing
Clash.
of energy, and it is yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, what does the table think is going to happen here?
Well, he actually is also swinging his fist. So I think you're dealing with two separate scenarios happening simultaneously. I
Okay.
think that his fist, his physical fist, is going to connect with her physical jaw and potentially knock her physical body unconscious. I think then the ghost fist interacting with the spirit, the occupying spirit, will be a separate thing altogether.
Okay.
However, if he does knock Sling out, then the ghost can either just lay there and take a nap or can discorporate and deal with me.
If
I'm
the
sorry,
ghost discorporates, I would also have an opportunity to grab
That
it
is-
because
that is-
as a ghost fighter, I now can wrestle spirits.
Okay. Speedy, MadameGandalf, do you guys have any input in this?
I agree with what Trendane said, basically. I think that's a really good way
Ditto.
of putting it. Because, I mean, I definitely think that his physical fist is the more important part of this, but also there's some potential there that that the spirit fist could actually affect her spirit in some way.
Okay.
I
And
also
you-
couldn't guarantee that Sling spirit would not also be hit. I don't know.
That's true. I didn't account for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're in agreement with that, Madame Gandalf? Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then we're going to ask the person that it's actually directed at.
We love you, Lulu.
We love you.
Saying, we love you.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Esther, what do you think would happen? Now, notice I said Esther and not Sling and not Lulu and not Louise.
Mhm.
Esther, what do you think will happen?
Esther is of the general belief that he can come at her, fight me 1v1.
Come at me, bro.
Destination.
Come at me, bro.
Box only.
No.
Fight me IRL, mate.
Fight her IRL.
Okay.
You don't just kill a child and then punch her.
No.
Spirit.
All right.
You're right. We don't kill a child and punch her. You're not a
We did
child.
kill the
You are not a
child.
child.
I
You
am.
are not a child.
How dare you?
You're not.
Never
And,
ask a woman her age, especially if she's 10.
Wait. Oh, wait. Wait. If you are a child, you are not a woman. So that logic cancels itself out.
Oh, well, that's just me being an
Take
idiot.
that.
Really.
Joff,
Hmm.
now we're going to have you do the mechanical aspect of this. You punch
Oh.
her.
God, this is when I get ones.
What action are you going to take to really make this happen?
This is gonna be skirmish. This is a like, she's probably a foot away from me. It's literally me leaning over and bopping her. So
Oh, yeah.
this
It's
is
a controlled situation.
It's
absolutely
very controlled. I've punched a lot of people in my time.
Punch a lot of kids.
Hey, at least I'm not
Just saying.
using. At least I'm
Just
not
saying.
using the kukri.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm telling her
So
to
the-
never ask a woman her age, especially if she's 10.
So with that, then the effect is probably going to be standard.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily limited to just one entity there. There are multiple entities in that body. So
Well, do you want to do something interesting and roll twice? Once for the physical punch and then the effect, and then once to see if my ghost fist connects with a ghost thing.
One would be skirmish. One would be,
Would be
one
a
would
two.
be prowess. One would be resolve.
Yeah,
One
my
would be a-
result.
Yeah,
My
well, so
result is great.
that's actually interesting. Because it's skirmish and attune, essentially, is what we're talking about.
Yes. And I would be crippling myself because currently my attune is zip, nada, nil.
We get one dice for luck.
I get
so-
one dice, yeah.
Honestly,
Ding dong.
I think the ability of Ghost Punch is one that makes a spiritual punch into a skirmish.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, if you had a higher attune,
Yeah,
I could see you putting an argument that it would be either or, but in this particular case, I think it would be the higher of the two, and it would affect both circumstances.
I mean,
because
not,
you are such a skilled fighter.
not to cripple myself though. I'm brand new to the Veil. This is I don't know, conversations in pubs, working with someone that was also a ghost fighter. This is a little bit of one-on-one time in the pits with another ghost fighter. This is something that Grin Jinx was doing on the side. This was something he was keeping his mouth shut about.
Okay.
So he's not that experienced. He just knows that if he sees a ghost, he can grab it and kind of punch it. So
Okay.
he's taking a risk. So the reason I would suggest, again, a second roll at a disadvantage using a tune is I kind of want to see what happens. And
Well, then
two,
it-
it makes some narrative sense.
There's also a way that we can represent that's not rolling two times and yet
Okay.
giving you the ability to skirmish, and that would be increasing the position of it from controlled to what?
What?
Chat.
Oh, goddamn.
You stop it, you guys. All right, stop it now. So you could increase the position or to something like risky or desperate, because you are legitimately taking a risk by punching her and
Yeah.
using an ability that you know could also affect Sling.
Yeah.
We went to a church together, man.
Son of... Yeah, and if you were actually Sling, this would be different.
Maybe I am. Maybe this is all an elaborate prank by Sling.
I'm going to say that this is a risky roll. I could even see an argument for desperate. And we're just going to call it one roll.
Okay.
Change the position and make the effect standard.
Okay.
So your choice, risky or desperate. The result will have some it'll have some interesting.
Yeah. I'm favoring risky. What does the table think?
Good call. Good question.
Well, it's always risky when you punch a child.
Right. So it's not desperate.
Their parents might come. You might get like a lawsuit.
That's true.
You ruined
Sorry.
the birthday party. Did I mention it was Esther's birthday today? It's Esther's birthday today.
Sorry, I didn't quite. Did you say a lawsuit or a lure suit? Because I couldn't quite tell the difference.
I mean, depends on who you ask. If it's Sling, probably the lawsuit. But Esther, she's getting a lawyer.
Demon
Yeah,
says
I'd
what?
argue it's risky.
You guys are terrible.
I'd say it's risky. I don't think it's desperate because we're in kind of a controlled-ish situation at the moment. We are just amongst each other.
Happy
For now.
birthday to me.
Hey, Esther.
Happy
Hey, Esther.
birthday to me.
Hey, Esther.
Happy birthday, dear Esther. Happy birthday to me.
And many more.
All right, Joff.
Hey,
Let's-
Esther. Demon says what?
So risky, standard. Now, do you want to take any? You want to push yourself, take an additional die? Do you want a devil's bargain? The only person who I could see no, this because you're doing this out of the blue. I don't think there's any way anybody could assist you on this.
No.
No, we're just
Surprise.
talking, and
Yeah.
suddenly he's punching a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the bad guy now,
Yeah,
really.
I'm the villain.
Throw him in the sea. Like this is just uncalled for.
Die the
If I-
hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yep.
Hey Jinx, did you ever think you'd be, murdering a
Punching a
child for the
child.
second time round? Just asking, I mean, you seem like a hero of the people, and now you're just killing children. So
Wrath is
I'm
drinking
just
more.
asking.
You're the hero of these people. This child doesn't die. We die.
Okay, guys.
No,
all
nobody
right.
said
One
that.
versus
Put it
four.
back in. Put it back in.
If
Devil's
I was
bargain.
interested in that devil's bargain, would you be willing to tell me what it is before I take it?
Oh, I would definitely tell you what it is.
Okay.
It's
'Cause
if you don't want to know, will I not tell you?
Oh no, I'm all about shooting myself in the foot. So by all means. Oh wait, in that case, don't tell me, and I'll take the
See?
devil's bargain.
See, this is exactly how it works. This is exactly what was going through my mind the last time.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
There's no point playing it safe.
Oh, great.
You're right. You're absolutely right. There's no point in playing it safe. I think at least though we should throw it out to the table, see what real quickly if anybody has any good ideas for a devil's bargain, and then we'll make a straw poll and throw it to chat
Hey!
because that always seems to work really well for everybody.
Well,
Yeah,
Okay.
we've only had good things come from Devil's Bargains.
see, but then that means that if it winds up like with Joff, like it wound up with me, that means that I can't read chat anymore. Because if anybody talks about what the
Oh.
devil's bargain was that was voted on, then I can't look at it or I'll figure out what it is.
Oh, chat will behave, I'm sure, won't you, chat?
Sorry, have you been on this channel before?
That's a good little chat.
Oh, are you okay? So I mean, like again, I can throw it to the table, or I can come up with something that happens, that's off screen, essentially, and it will come in and affect you. But I'm giving options here before we get to the final, because this is a pretty significant event for the person that is,
Yeah.
Jinx. This is him stepping over another line.
Well, that's true.
Child punching line.
Yeah.
Dead
I just
child
really want to
punching.
drive
Much
home
better.
the fact that you're willingly punching a child.
I am taking a gamble. If Esther is proven to be the ghost of a child, I'll just go and drink more. This is not a child, and I think I've just finally cottoned on. So, boom. Especially the way that Esther's reacting to being taken to the Dimmer Sisters. No, not a child.
I just want to
Uh-huh.
meet my parents again. You kill me.
Oh, you
kill
will.
my friends, and then you're just like, oh, well, don't worry, we'll
gonna
take you
kill
to your
her parents
parents, little kid. Don't worry. And then you kill
Be
them.
patient. Be patient. I can find more spirit bottles. It's okay.
So, guys, do remember that for the next couple of weeks, if you put hashtag charity, you actually raise money for kids.
And
Thank
kittens.
you for the reminder.
Don't be like drinks. Save the kids. Don't punch them.
Oh god.
Okay, guys, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back in. Okay.
All right.
So, quick question. Back to Joff.
Yeah.
Is it okay if chat knows and they make a decision and we all suggested the devil's bargain, or do you want me to really come up with it privately and then just have it come into play?
No, I love it.
I will
I
message
love it.
What?
I love it when chat they're able to interact. So let's put it to
all right.
chat.
Real quickly, guys, throwing to the table before I suggest one. Anybody else have any suggestions for a devil's bargain for Jinx Godoffer? Go ahead.
Me throwing a punch in this way, a whatever ghost punch, it potentially could attract someone who could see that punch. It might attract unwanted attention from either the living or the dead.
Oh, I think the dead makes a lot more sense, but
It does, doesn't it?
Especially if you're punching a dead child. All the dead parents out there are going to be like, that ain't right.
I'll let you know when I punch a dead child.
Please
Okay.
do let me know.
I-
I can't wait.
I like the idea that when Joff punches this ghost-possessing Sling, that in some way the ghost-possessing Sling is fused with Sling spirit, and so her spirit is permanently damaged.
I don't like that.
Speedy!
We went to a church together. Remember the good old times?
We had a picnic.
Sling and Jinx. Fighting off monsters, jumping down trapdoors.
I remember we
Finding
were running.
spirits. Oh, good times.
Good times.
Good times.
Son of a...
Also, chat if you have any ideas.
so that was
Please-
2.
Please feel free to throw those up.
Can someone start making a straw poll?
Trendane,
Mhm.
Gandalf. Do you guys have any suggestions?
Nothing nice.
Doesn't have to be-
That's great.
Also,
I
there's
know.
a reason to say.
I know.
I was going something much more tame, like goat never trusts
Ooh,
wrath again.
That's
Oh.
not
that's
bad.
actually not bad.
Punch the dog as well.
Children
He
and
came
bugs,
with
man.
us to the church.
I just remember that scene in Conan the Barbarian where Conan punches the camel.
Oh,
Yeah. Look, I'm sorry about what happened before.
I like what Gekitsu said. Sling retaining the memories, and like bearing ill will against Grin for it.
We
Dang
used
it,
to be tight,
Raphael.
man. We went to a church, remember?
Wow.
Raphael
our
is
memories
sort of-
now.
Why can't we be friends?
That sort of goes in line with part of what I was thinking. Because part of what I was thinking is that when you if you're just bare knuckles fighting with somebody, you scrape your knuckles all up and they're all scratched up and you're bloodied and whatnot. But when you're ghost fighting someone, sometimes a residue of it rubs off on you, and so you will carry a taint with you for a little while that other spirits will see, whether you want them to or not.
Somebody clip that, please. Clip that.
Yes.
Okay.
Please, someone
it's
clip my taint. Free kittens, by the way.
I cannot believe you.
Bring it in.
Okay, so here's what
I have
heard.
a suggestion as well.
Okay.
If a person who happened to be punching the ghost of somebody that is a dead child,
Right. This increasingly,
if this
hypothetical someone.
hypothetical situation were to occur, the devil's bargain could be, in the same sense has been already said, but more so, the nearby spirits of the area don't particularly enjoy watching someone of their nature being punched by just some lad on a boat, and we'll call in the cavalry, as they say, a bit of the old reinforcements. Bit of the old 1-2, bit of the old, not a very safe area no more, bit of the old Dimosisters can't help you now.
See, I would have gone with that, and I was thinking about that too, but we've got the lightning barrier on one side. We're on the water, and we've got, buildings and shit on the other side. There's not a lot of room for
What else did you let in when the
Actually, I think that's actually a really interesting idea, but I would modify it just a little bit because of the fact that you're on the water. Maybe one of the reconciled actually witnesses from the shores and marks Jinx as someone to deal with.
That's a good one.
So many options.
So it sounds like let's go back through these options real quick, and then I'll suggest the final one, and then hopefully we can get somebody in chat to actually to put that straw poll together. So here we are we've got so someone of the reconciled witnesses the event of him getting hit, or of Sling getting hit, and marks him as a person of interest. Now, the reconciled are the ghosts that no longer need to feed but can still do possession, and they have essentially a long memory of the things that they're going to do. There is the circumstance that Goat will no longer be comfortable around Jinx and will get incredibly agitated or aggressive towards him. There is the opportunity for a residue to, a spectral residue to kind of mark Jinx, and I'm not saying the word taint for a reason, to mark him specifically for, that he did this.
There's Sling and Esther becoming.
The Sling and Esther becoming merged.
Becoming one.
There being a merging of that, and then I can't remember, there was one more.
Sling remembering that he punched her.
Yes, so Sling actually
like,
remembering the punch.
Dude, we were friends.
Fuck, dude.
What the fuck, bro? We were meant to be tight, you and I.
So here's my final.
Think of what we've been. You helped me with my situation back home. All that fun that we had.
There goes our sidekick sequel.
there goes our sequel.
You know me, Sling. You had a ghost in you. I did the one thing I know how to do, so I punched it.
The Adventures of Jinx and Sling will never be a Saturday morning.
Save your excuses.
Not one in America, no.
You're technically punching.
Japan,
even if you don't
maybe.
believe me, even if you don't believe that Esther is a child, we're still punching a child because Sling is essentially a child.
Sling has 3 guns.
She's still a kid.
She's not a kid.
She knows how to handle her weapon.
Anyway,
final suggestion. And this one has absolutely nothing to do with Sling because everything else has been suggested that it is directly or indirectly related to Sling. If you take this devil's bargain, and it sounds like you're going to do, and this is the last option, the reputation of Jinx Scotifer gets soured in some way, and there is a manhunt for him even among the Skullmunders.
Can I just quickly say, Johnny, it would potentially be in your best interest, good sir, to check the Discord almost immediately.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Why are you telling me to check Discord post haste?
Post haste.
No, I'm sure there's no reason.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I don't like this sound.
Yes, Queen.
Is this another option for the devil's bargain?
I mean,
no, because it's going to happen.
Really.
Oh, good. Okay.
Is this a thing where I need to take my headphones off? Didn't we have Trent do that?
Nope.
We're good. We're all good.
Nope. All right, guys. So that's one additional die for the devil's bargain, and hopefully somebody in chat's. I think we're done with the Kayla. I think that's the last option. So somebody can post that.
Yeah, Kayla, DM it to me and I'll post it.
So that's it. You've got your position. You've got your effect. You've got your additional die. You've got one additional option to push yourself and take 2 additional stress.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So take 2 additional stress, and you've got 2 extra die.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and roll it for us? The roll that took us 25 minutes to get to.
And as he does,
Mm-hmm.
as he swings,
Oh no.
Hocus goes, "What? She's what?" And roll.
Do it.
Okay. So we said risky,
Risky. Standard. 2 additional die.
2 additional dice. Here we go.
Oh my
Oh,
Glorious!
Oh my gosh.
Freaking glorious!
That was a crit.
That was the most successful punching of a child we've ever.
Oh no.
I hope you're pleased with critting so much on punching a child.
And everyone coos as Sling's head. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Okay, before I resolve all of this, because there's a bunch of resolve, I'm going to apologize in advance to Louise. What I said privately to you,
You lied to me, sir.
I can't deny the crit. So
1.
here's what happens.
Hmm.
You make the punch and you knock her out. And it's not just that you knock her out. You knock her out, and as she's falling back, just for a second, you see a faint image of something else.
Is it a child?
I don't know, Sling. Is it a child?
I don't know. Is it a child?
It's just gonna go all the way from the buffet table.
No,
Gandalf.
it is not. It is not a child.
Is it a
It
child?
is not a ghost.
I
in
don't know.
the normal sense of the word.
Thank you. Thank you,
And-
because I thought I just punched someone with a ghost child in them.
So she falls back. The physical body falls back. The ghost image of whatever it was that you see is hanging there for a second in the position that it was in.
Ah.
And then it also falls back as it just kind of reabsorbs into the physical form. And she is out cold.
I look at Hocus.
And Hocus, something very familiar about
Oh,
what
yeah.
you saw.
Yeah. So as
What is that?
as Grin is turning to look at Hocus, Hocus is grabbing him and pulling him away.
Oh, okay. So the boat is like this as everyone.
Basically, everybody's off. She's up at the bow. All of us in the gondolier at the
Oh.
back, and the whole boat is just going through the thing like this.
So at this event also, you notice that the gondolier has also changed his disposition
Oh yeah.
and has begun to move the boat towards the nearest port that he can drop you all off at. It's obvious he's not comfortable with you being.
Okay.
So, all right, guys.
Okay, Hocus.
Well, that was one way to do something.
We need to pull
right?
this thing out. If you can't pull it out, where can we go? We have to get this thing out of Sling now.
Pull it out to where?
I don't know.
I know exactly what that is.
Can it
Which
be
mine's gonna
contained?
be-
What is it?
It's not in any spirit bottle I've ever seen.
Can it be destroyed?
I don't know. And he starts crying.
Oh, God.
Just crying.
I
And
have
he
to.
is- he
I
is
have.
shaking.
I have to metagame because Louise has the biggest evil grin, and it just really scares me.
Good.
You just do you guys.
I think
honestly.
Louise is going to make me pay,
You
not
guys
Sling,
just have
Louise.
fun.
I'm scared.
God.
Okay, well, this is a problem, and I'm still not ready to kill Sling to kill the demon, so we need options right now.
And you don't know that killing Sling would kill the demon.
No, we
Or it
don't,
would just
but
kill your mate Sling and then release a demon.
that is honestly not an option to Grin. and I say that very specifically, Grin. There's
And Hocus is just.
Oh.
So just for reference for the rest of the table, real quick, for Speedy and for MadameGandalf, when this happens, even you two, unattuned, see what happens.
Oh, thank God.
At this point, like, Ari is looking at Sky because she can see that, even though we saw what happened, clearly Hocus and Wrath actually understand it, whereas I'm lost. Ari is not used to dealing with spirits and things like that. This is all very new to her, so she's kind of looking at Sky like,
I saw something like that just one time, and it was that thing that Hocus saw.
Shoot.
Way back when, the thing that sent him all up in a tizzy.
I wish Sling was conscious, because when we went investigating that church, we actually saw a circle. And Hocus, I don't know if this will mean anything to you. There was actually, I don't know what it was made of. Sling saw it because she took the lure so that she could see what was in the circle, and it was bad. But this thing was containing it. Can we do anything like that?
well, I have a seance.
Well, maybe.
He is talking about as a binding circle. I don't know.
I'll grab the candles.
I don't know of anything that can contain this thing. When it had me before, when I was young, I was trapped inside of that thing. It fed off of me for 3 days. During that time, I lived hundreds of lifetimes. This explains why she knows that song.
Oh, God.
I do not know. As far as I know, no one who has ever died in relation to that thing, it just takes the death as a new experience and moves on.
Okay.
This thing, we kill her, it does nothing. All it does is say, oh, there's a new death that I can share with someone else.
Can it leave Sling's body whenever it likes?
I presume that it can.
I think I knocked it out.
Can we give it a more tempting offer?
That I can virtually guarantee.
Yeah, but we have to control that situation. We can't let this thing... I don't know.
I can't imagine that there's something we could...
Offer it?
No.
Can't
Yes,
make a
there
deal.
is. Yes, there is.
If it's you, Hocus, then the answer is no.
It is. Just as I
No.
said back that day when Jot and Tittle took us to see Duskfall's Hope, and we saw it at the well when we took Clav there. And you remember, I said that there is a part of me that is still in there, still inside that thing. There is still a part of it that lives in me, and it wants it back. So yes, it will come for me. That's why it came to me at the well. That's why it's here, at least in part. Yes, we do have something to offer, something it wants, but that would be me.
So you're getting pretty close to the shore when the gondolier looks around and immediately stops staring towards the shore. And he says, "You're being watched." And he points, and he's looking at Hocus, and he points. And you don't see anything there. But I'm going to assume that you're going to attune, and it's not going to be a roll. But this is what you would see if you attune. You would see a shadowy figure in a hood waiting for you on the banks. And the gondolier is looking at you all. Kind of, you've attracted some unwanted attention. We must move. Where can I take you? You are not going to the Dimmer Sisters. You are not getting off here. I'm fearing for my life as well as yours.
Back whence we came.
There.
So he's trying to drop you off basically basically the bottom of where Six Towers is, or that's originally where he was going to. He was going to carry all the way to the Demmer Sisters. Now he's just kind of holding there. He's holding basically a good maybe 50 feet off from the dock.
Where is there any place in this city that we can go that is just so completely isolated that people cannot move in and out without crow's foot? Crow's foot.
I don't know that that's much safer.
If entry and
Yeah, like-
exit... Go ahead.
Well, we're not exactly in the best terms with a lot of people in Crowfoot.
We don't exactly look like us.
We don't exactly look like people they like either.
That's true too.
But you have a point. Besides, we know that one of the best ways to hide is to be right under their noses. Can you see under your nose? Right? It's hard.
Maybe.
As you begin to discuss this, as the gondolier is still looking at you, those of you that you can hear in the ghost field hear a yell, and it says, "Turn her loose."
This is where like Ari
Does it
starts
sound like a
walking
demonic
"Well."
voice, or does it sound like it's coming from the hooded figure?
Well, you haven't seen the hooded figure yet, but
Okay.
if you attune, then you would definitely be able to see him, and eventually you would be able to get there to be able to see it. But anybody who can hear it in the ghost field at all, or is any related, even vague attachment to it, would hear him because his voice would broadcast, and it is a low, very low. I'm just gonna tell you guys who it is. It's Steam.
I figured, yeah.
Ah!
Steam hears you guys, or Steam has you, his eyes on you, and so in his voice, you would hear, "Turn her loose."
And if we don't,
Don't taunt the monkeys, Johnny. Not you. The other.
I got that reference.
Good. Very nice.
Yols you hear is a growl.
Now I
Gondolier.
picture
What's your name?
Parsival.
Aldo.
Hold on.
My name's
Parcel.
Aldo, sir.
I'll
there-
do the third.
I'm the
Is there
third in my
somewhere?
name.
Is there somewhere the gondoliers have that's safe from the spirits and from men?
Water.
Anywhere more enclosed?
No place is safe.
If not a place of yours, you must know something. You transport people all over this city. You know somewhere we could go.
Your friend's suggestion of crow's foot. And at that, you hear another yell. "Turn her loose, or you don't sleep."
Wasn't planning on it anyway,
No.
buddy.
Gotta say, don't sleep very well.
As you're continuing to talk to the gondolier, the shape has moved from where it was standing atop the dock where you were going to be let off,
Oh shit! Go, 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 go.
along the canal side, moving more towards you.
Sky, Hocus. What do we do?
All right, book it to Crow's Foot. We don't have any other choice.
Okay. I'm keeping my eye on the
And immediately the gondolier moves back and begins to turn. And all you can see is that as he's beginning to move the boat in the direction using his pole, he just keeps looking back and watching.
Oh,
And you see this figure, this hooded figure, continue for as long as he possibly could, until it's becoming obvious that he's not going to be able to keep you in sight. And he moves off. But he's running fast.
uh-oh.
So we're going to cut to you actually arriving in Crowsfoot. Oh, okay. So you making your journey to Crowsfoot, wandering through the crowded canals towards, passing through boats, and always the gondolier is looking back. Always, he's just kind of keeping an eye on the shores. Occasionally, you all catch glimpses. So you move, if you're looking at the map, you move from here through here and down to here. But at a certain point, you lose sight of him. And just as you're coming under this bridge right here between Char Hollow and Charter Hall, you see the figure again on the bridge as he kind of runs down to a dock that's right next to the bridge as you're passing through. And he looks to make a desperate action as he moves forward off the dock and appears to float on water for just a second.
Oh, crap.
Everybody else is seeing this,
He's
right?
not able to move fast. But he's trying to get to you.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, you're all seeing this, right? The guy
Oh,
just
yeah.
tried to walk on water.
Yep, let's move. Sling goes over Grin, Roth's shoulder. Fireman's lift. We gotta go.
Yeah, I mean,
Does,
does anyone have anything in finesse?
Uh,
Sling
Yes.
does.
No.
I do.
I
You
do.
You want to grab Sling's gun?
I was just going to ask, does she have her guns?
There's not a whole lot of
Have
places
we
it could be.
armed the child?
She's always armed.
Guys, humming.
Oh, I thought she was humming the Jeopardy theme, like waiting for.
She
As
waits.
you begin to make your way through the major area of the canal here towards Crowsfoot, she starts humming, though she's still passed out and asleep. And just as you round the corner, you still see the figure trying to reach you. Can't move as quickly as he can, as you've seen him move, but he's trying, and he was trying across the water. And one final guttural yell that you hear before you lose sight of him, and he says, "A god must be strong."
Did you get that from a fortune cookie?
And so when you arrive at Crowsfoot, the gondolier takes you through a series of passageways under Crowsfoot, hidden from the visible eyes of the Imperial Army. And when you finally stop, it's a poorly lit cavern with a dock under the city. And he says, "This is the best I can do. Now you must leave." Throws you your money back, this guy, and says, "Do not ask for our help again until you have resolved this. It is known."
Thank you, Khaleesi.
We'll do our best. I'm sorry to have caused you such trouble.
Free ride.
And he
And
moves on.
Ari steps off.
And he moves on. And you find yourself in a small alcove with a stone stairway leading up to street level on Crowsfoot.
I don't know a whole lot of places in Crowsfoot, but the Red Sashes are based here, aren't they?
Sashes, the Lamplax, and the crows.
Red Sash is the closest thing to allies we have, so I'd like to go to one of the vice dens that we supply.
Okay, so when you come out on the streets very near the Crow's Nest, which is an ancient tower at the center of Crowsfoot, right here, which is essentially Crow's territory. And so when you come out on the streets, there's not a lot going on, except there are a couple of crows just kind of keeping an eye from various little doorways and alleyway entrances. Just keeping an eye on everything. But everything else is quiet. There does not be any other commerce or any other, foot traffic of any kind. And so your arrival coming up the stairs is noted.
Okay.
And you're going to continue on to a vice den that belongs to the Sashes?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to cut to you arriving at a den very close to the actual academy, right across the way. And as you come to the entrance, you find yourself transitioning from a location, or there's like an invisible line between the territory that belongs to the crows and the territory that belongs to the Sashes. And there is a heavy presence at the street level when you enter the Sashes territory. And as you move through, there's a little bit more foot traffic, but it all appears to be related directly to not just Sashes. There's a lot of Aruvians in the area. And as you arrive at the drug, the pleasure den that services drugs, that you find the door barred to you, and that when you knock, you're getting a response of being told to go away.
Special delivery.
Now, would you have a particular knock or a particular exchange that would be?
Yes, I'd say we wouldn't even normally approach through the front door. We would be going around the back, and there would be a special knock.
So you would be doing some sort of like a service entry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as you would walk by the front in order to get to that service entry, and you would notice that it is barred and that the den is not active with patrons. Usually, even though it's a drug den, there's still a bit of revelry going on because everybody's particular drug of choice offers a different type of response. Frivolity, subdued, even a stupor. But there would always be some noise coming from the den, and there would be a particular smell of certain types of incense and other types of spices in the air related to that. But none of that is found. And you are looked with great scrutiny as you pass by. And as you come around to the backside and you give your special knock, the door opens very slightly. You don't see who's looking at you at first. And they look you up and down. Door pulls open. Come in, quickly, come in. Escorting you all inside, and then closing the door and latch. And there is a person stationed in a chair next to the door. And the person that lets you in kind of leads you back into the building proper. And as they walk you through the various rooms, there is only one candle lit in all of the room, or like in each room, except for one room that's basically in the center of this establishment. And it is the open lounge area where those who find pleasure in the stupor would lounge and just sort of there are various pillows and couches and love seats and just various implements to be able to just relax and sort of let go. And it is empty. There is nobody here. None of the patrons that you would normally see. And so as you are escorted over to a table that's off to the one side and are offered, a seat and drink, the person that is tending to you says, "A moment." Now, you know this particular person as somebody who services the manager of this particular den, and the manager of this particular den happens to be one of your Rook network contacts. So you are given a moment of reprieve and safety as that person is, as the servant goes off to find the manager.
Good to be safe. Keep a close eye on her. Whatever.
I'm sure Wrath has us covered. Muted.
Be safe.
Yeah, you're muted, Johnny.
You're muted.
I muted myself because my daughter is singing in the background, and it's about as creepy as Louise is humming. So, what I was saying was, yes, I'll just keep punching the demon every time it wakes up. That sounds like a
Beat
great
the
plan.
devil out of her.
Well, she is starting to, along with the humming and the singing in the background, occasionally, she is starting to stir a little bit.
I assume that a Sling is showing the marks of the hit.
No,
What? There's no bruise. There's no nothing.
no.
Well, that's worrying.
That's fine.
That's fine.
We're at a drug den. There are lots of drugs that make people continue being asleep.
Yes, let's do that.
Ari is gonna go over and pinch like Sling's nose at this point to kind of dampen the humming.
She's not breathing. She's just not breathing.
It's changing nothing.
We could tie her up, but I don't think that's going to stop the demon.
It's super uncomfortable, but I don't. It's fine. So long as Sling is knocked out, there's nothing this thing can do, I think. But we need to, one, keep her asleep, and two, figure out something more permanent. I think we have to. We have to ask the Sashes what they can do for us.
Oh.
We don't have a lot of other options.
I mean, Sight's not wrong. What about Ari's sleeping powder?
Yeah.
Do you have sleeping power? I thought it was like in hypnotism powder. I have a sleeping. I have a sleeping potion thing.
Trance powder.
Yeah.
Whilst you're discussing this,
No. No.
Yeah.
is anybody looking at Sling?
Yes.
Brad,
Sure, you
yes.
betcha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then you
You're
would
actually.
see.
We actually have you on the middle of the table, laid out
Yeah.
in front of us. We are all
Like a
sitting around
sleeping
you.
beauty.
Yes.
And us, your weirdly dressed companions.
As Sky says, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything it can do whilst Sling's unconscious. A shadowy, dark hand reaches almost out of where Sling's hand is and just waves,
Oh, good.
and then returns. And then there's silence for a moment, and then
I picked the wrong day to quit drinking.
Ari, here you go.
Thank you.
Well, we should have that conversation with the Sashes now. I'm gonna I'm gonna stay here because we know that apparently me punching this thing and Sling helps, so I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pour my slumber essence down her throat
That's a great
as well.
idea.
I don't know how effective it is against demons, but it might help.
It might help just by keeping the vessel sedate.
Yes, that's the most I can hope for.
Yeah.
And so just kind of wait very anxiously for the manager to arrive.
And he does. And he looks you over and says, "My friends, I did not expect, we don't have many visitors as of right now. What are you doing here?"
Calling in a favor.
Okay.
Ari's just gonna point at Sling's body at this point, just
What is wrong with this? What is wrong with this Taikarosi child?
many things, but that's not what we're here about.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
you could start with all the lure, but no. Something.
Lure, you need lure. We can provide.
Nope.
You are our supplier, but we can provide.
No. I think No, lure is not the problem here. Well, it might be, but more lure is definitely not the solution. What we need is someone who can tell us about demons. Is there anyone among your ranks, someone you trust, who could provide some experience?
Idea!
A light goes off above his head, and you hear
I do know someone, in fact.
he looks at you in shock, and he says, I would have. And he looks in frustration. I thought, wouldn't you have known that? I guess it wasn't mentioned before, or there was some weeks ago. There was a lot of kidnappings. In fact, and he looks around, checking the room, making sure there aren't any other ears. He leans in. He says, "The sashes, they were protecting a demonologist. They were also helping transport them. Anybody with that knowledge was being sought. The best that you could do is go to the university, go to Charter Hall University."
Oh no!
But
Oh no!
It's strange. The sashes were protecting one, and others were disappearing.
What happened to the one you were protecting?
He was taken. It was a glorious fight, but he was taken. And it wasn't me, it was the sashes. You need to talk to the sashes about this. They know more than we do, and I don't know much, and I didn't tell you this.
That first day I came to you, when I brought you the letter that I brought you, I also received one for myself from the previously mentioned friend, who was also a whisperer. She was reaching out to me, trying to find demonologists. This has to be the same thing. Where
Bring us to the sashes.
that?
Bring us to someone who can talk about this.
Wait here. And he motions, and with a wave of his hands, the servant that was working, the attendant that was working for him, comes back and brings you another round of drinks as he disappears.
And could we get some more slumber essence as well?
And as the manager is leaving, as you begin to, he begins to move off, he looks back at the attendant and, motions that it's okay.
I wouldn't mind a beer either at this point.
Yeah. We're all drinking.
Good.
Okay, except Hocus. And Sling. Wrath and I are drinking.
Yeah.
And I.
And I. Cheers, guys.
I have refilled my bottle of whiskey. Okay.
The life of fucked up scenarios.
So I'm assuming that you're just going to wait it out.
Yeah.
Hocus has pulled out the spirit hook and is just sort of standing back in the corner, about as far away as he can get, just watching and waiting. And if anything starts to reach for him, he's just gonna he's just on guard. And he's also changing out of military shit and back into his whisper guard. He is fucking done with not wearing his whisper guard.
Similarly, Roth is keeping his fist ignited,
Charged.
lit. He's ready to
Warmed up.
another punch. Not good.
So time passes. Drinks are brought. A couple of hours pass. The quiet of the den is unsettling. Only slightly less, uncomfortable is the occasional humming coming from Sling's body.
It's starting to get catchy.
Children's songs are like that.
If only they didn't also haunt me at night.
Children's songs are like that.
At a point, a couple hours later, in walks the manager again, and behind him walks a Eruvian soldier who is not wearing the normal Red Sash's garb. He appears to be a major in the Eruvian consulate's contingent of Eruvian soldiers. You recognize that because of an emblem, Hocus, that's on his shoulder that represents his rank and his company, and the company is the company of the consulate, essentially the diplomatic arm, the protection for the diplomatic arm. And when he steps in, he looks over to the manager, nods, and the manager walks away, and all the doors close around you. And he steps up and he says,
Hocus will say, "Thy Shekina Run," which is a very respectful hello.
and he responds in kind. He says, "But I think the common language is most important here. We do not want to frighten your friends. Now, what is this that you seek? Something about the demonologist we protected?"
Yes. There is a situation on our hands and on this table that only someone who is an expert in demons could truly handle.
I can't give you good news. Some weeks ago, when the rash of kidnappings was happening among the demonologists and those of the occult, one came to us and asked for our protection, gave us good coin, a Professor Valen, I believe. But we lost track of him. There was a little skirmish, a little incident, and he vanished from our awareness. We did actually do a little bit of work otherwise for some other individuals, but that was really... And he gets a little uncomfortable for a second, and he says, "That was business. And we made some deliveries. I believe to Brightstone." He shakes his head. He says, "I can't tell you much more, but I can give you this. This came with the payment." And again, you are immediately uncomfortable as you recognize the symbol as the same symbol that was given to you, Sky, on the letter. And it's the symbol that was also found on the invitation to the Man in White's gathering.
God damn it. Everything has to be fucking connected. Open it. Read it.
This was only included with the payment, he says. And it's like a calling card. It's not an actual letter of any kind. It's a calling card. As you turn it over, it's just the symbol. Hocus, if you attune to it, you attune in this situation, you see a glow of white, but it feels like a false white. It feels tainted. It doesn't feel pure.
As in, no, not that. As in, it's been handled too much and it's gotten grungy, like it used to be white, or like it never was, like it's a forgery.
It's like a forgery because it's meant to mimic the purity, but it's not pure. It's a shade of gray.
Not the first time we've heard that on this channel. In this game. There's plenty of it last night too.
It's almost 50 shades of it.
Damn Kiwis.
What was it, 25? Is that what it was mentioned last night? Anyway. Well, do you know what that symbol means?
We saw it.
Go ahead.
We saw it once before. Were you told anything when you were given it?
He looks at you. He says, "Do you know who this is? You do not ask questions of this person."
But they do have answers.
They took our delivery. They wanted the demonologists, and this one did not want. He wanted everyone. The one that got away still vexes him, by the way. He still asks us to find him, but that one has fallen off our...
Whatever the equivalent of radar would be.
Thank you, Mr. Thesaurus there.
I live to serve.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, he says, you have been a service to us by servicing our dens. That we are most thankful. Consider this knowledge a courtesy, but should you need more help, it will come at a cost.
Understood. I appreciate this, and I appreciate your confidentiality on this matter. Hope we can continue.
Oh. We do not know who we could tell. We could not make money off of this information. We already have made a fair bit of coin, and then we've suffered our losses. So he begins to kind of step it back, and he says, if there's nothing else.
No. That's all.
He bows. He turns to Hocus and gives the formal, taking his leave of you, showing you respect. And just as you respond, he looks at you and he says, I know your family. You are good people. And you realize that he recognizes the garb and the mask that you are currently wearing.
Hocus is trying very, very hard not to cry. and bordering on failing.
And he leaves. The manager comes back in after the major leaves and says, I can offer you lodging for the moment, but we are getting regularly checked by the army. They appear to be hunting for something, which is why there is nobody on the streets. And those that are have clearance just to continue to do business with outside of Crowsfoot. So you can stay the night, but tomorrow they will come and they will search and they will be thorough.
Is there anywhere more hidden?
We can offer you another place, but you'll be moving, always moving, until Crowsfoot comes out from under this iron boot, until they find whatever it is that they're looking for. And we don't know what it is, but they are searching door to door. They're going repeatedly through the same areas, the same buildings. They're looking for something very specific.
Very well.
Never did have a place I called home anyway.
That's right. I never really could either. That'll have to do for now. I appreciate it. Good day.
Nods his head and takes his leave. Now you guys have been given a bunch of information here. How do you want to proceed?
How far away are we at this point from the date on the invitation?
As time would progress, you are probably close to a week out.
Ugh. A long time to be just keeping Sling unconscious.
Lots more punching for you in the future, Wrath.
We need Sling back. We need Sling back. We need to get this thing out of Sling. And I don't know how. And I don't think me punching it several times is going to get it out. But you're right. I cannot. So...
None of us can, and it seems like the only people who could are with that.
That is not necessarily true. Potentially, I could. There would be nothing to stop it from jumping right into someone else.
So we all step very far back. Or we give it a purposeful host. Someone we maybe wouldn't mind if we have to dispose of them.
Killing the host will do nothing.
Oh, well, then we just put it into somebody that we're not particularly fond of. I can name a list.
It can jump out at will.
Yeah, we can put it in another person, but we can't trap it there.
If you put it in me, I might be able to keep it in me by the same method that I was able to punch this thing. I may actually be able to hold it. I think it would be in control. I don't know. I got no ideas. I got nothing.
I have exactly one idea, and I don't even know if it will work.
I'm all ears.
It requires getting help from someone I've never had to ask for help from. Does that sound like Sling, or does it sound like something else? From those of us attuned.
You're getting moments of Sling passing through. Something about the form and the shape of Sling is coming through very slightly. Her spirit, her soul, her energy is finding ways to seep through little cracks in whatever it is that has Sling's body.
You can hear me, Sling. We will do our best to get you out of this. To try to hold on. I have been exactly where you are, and worse. You can do this. Hold on. And Hocus is going to, upon hearing this humming, dig as deep into his attunement as he can and focus on that oh so cherry red glow. And using his ability Compel will tell that demon, sleep.
Okay. So with Compel, is it a force of will, essentially? Is it a use of your spectral energy to almost like a...
to you?
Sure.
Okay. I was going to say that's the closest thing I've got.
Well, so
I've never used it before.
Okay.
You can attune to the ghost field and force a nearby ghost to appear before you and obey an order you give it. You are not supernaturally terrified by a ghost you summon or attempt to compel, though your allies may be. The GM will tell you if you sense any ghosts nearby. I'm pretty sure I do.
Mm-hmm.
Just, if you don't, gather blah, 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 blah. When you compel it, you can give it a general or very specific command, but the more general it is, like protect me, the ghost will interpret according to its own desires. I think sleep is pretty damn specific.
It is incredibly specific. But again, I'm going to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your will? Or is it you? I mean, because when you attune, when you're attuning into the ghost field, it's slipping in and just, opening yourself up, right? The actions that you take in there are all skills based on your training and circumstance.
True.
But this is very different. This is, I am exerting my will, so is it almost like a mental, command attack, or is it more something where it's a part of your heritage and you're using some technique in the ghost field to kind of manipulate the ghost in that way? I mean, because is it like a physical attack, but only for a ghost, or is it a mental sort of like almost, and you hate to use the word because it implies so many terrible things, but is it almost like a psionic attack?
It's closer to the second one, but it's also typically used against ghosts, and this is a little bit more than that.
Okay. All right. Well, then attune makes perfect sense, and I assume that it's more of a hybrid experience then. So let's go ahead and start that.
Okay. So, risky, control, desperate.
I'm going to ask Louise.
Is the aim to get whatever it is inside of Sling to be quiet so that you can get through to Sling?
Not specifically to get through to Sling, just to quiet it, to get it to sleep.
I'd say...
What's the worst that could happen?
Don't
from
ask.
doing this?
Don't ask.
A lot. There's a lot. There's some really bad things that could happen.
Yes, there are some very bad things. I already have quite a few in mind.
Then I'd say risky, because it's not nowhere near desperate because you are in a controlled environment and you have her on a table, but the implications of what could happen, bear it going wrong, is a risk that you're taking.
Okay.
So I would say risky.
Effect.
To me, it sounds like it's standard again, in the same way that it was standard for Wrath/Jinx. You're affecting more than one entity in this particular case. In fact, potentially you're affecting 2.
Why?
Because you're compelling Sling to sleep.
I'm compelling the demon to sleep.
You don't know that it's a demon. You know that there's something really off about it, but you don't for a fact know that it's a demon.
With what you said privately in the thing? Seriously?
All right, fine.
After everything I've said thus far?
Sure. All right, fine. It's a demon, whatever. But it's so it could still have an effect on Sling and her spirit.
Okay. Especially
Right.
given the devil's bargain.
Exactly. So I think that it's standard in that it could affect just Sling, it could affect just the demon, or it could affect both of them. Right. And the severity of the situation is that if you were to crit or you were to get a complete success, then your intent gets resolved as expected, right? You compel everything to sleep. Everything works out as you expect to. But if there's any consequence or potential of consequence, then we'll resolve that as it comes up. That's why, I mean, because it can affect, it could go either direction. It could make the demon sleep, but it could wake Sling up. And if it wakes Sling up, I don't want to know what that means.
Okay, then I won't tell you.
Fond of that either.
I'm not sure Sling's too excited either.
Standard then.
Standard. You want to push yourself?
How many is that? 2?
2 stress. You could also take another devil's bargain.
Not in this situation, I don't think so.
Are you sure? Really?
I don't know what the last one was. So
Fair enough.
no. Not gonna push myself.
Okay.
Anybody think of any other reasons I might have a bonus die?
We can't pull off friendship and love again, can we?
I mean, the fact that you've dealt with demons before, and this demon is like the most I can think of.
Actually, I actually like that idea because you have such an intimate experience with a demon. I think that gives you an additional die here.
Ordinarily, I would say let's not use the word intimate, but it was very, very
Look.
intimate.
We broke the 4th wall with taint, all right? Shut up and just take intimate.
And why did you bring it up again?
Because it's funny.
I know it is. The only person who really suffers for it is that guy over there.
Okay.
All right.
So you do get that additional die. Can anybody think of any other reason why he would get one? Another one. I think that this is... So I will preface that question with, I don't think anybody else at the table can offer assistance, because I think it's in the same way when Wrath took his punch. It was such an immediate reaction. It's almost like a mental punch.
Yeah.
So
I was about to...
The potential that our good new friend might be a bit curious as to where this would go. And not necessarily try to fight it and just be like, well, your funeral.
All right. I like it. In this particular case, I think that offers another element of surprise. So yes, 2 dice.
Okay.
Could the fact that Louise or Sling is trying to fight back against this thing help?
Are you sure she's fighting it?
From the things she was saying, it sounded like it. I don't know that. You know that, though. Sling knows that. You fighting it?
That's a good question.
I guess that's what we're doing.
Louise,
Yes.
are you fighting? Is Sling fighting this possession?
Let me check the devil's bargain 1 second. Oh. Slightly. Just a slight.
All right.
Like, ooh, you.
I'm gonna say 3 dice, and that's where we're gonna call it. So roll it.
What the hell sound was that?
And just general strain.
Oh, okay. Right. So yeah, very, very odd modulation to Hocus's voice as he's sleep.
Okay, with a 5. So you compelled her, and when you say you compel her, is there any physical act that comes with it, or is it just you lean in and say sleep?
No, he probably, I mean, has the hook, in hand, like sleep, as though do it or else. I don't know what this will do to you, but by God, you're gonna get it if you don't go to sleep. You had your milk and cookies. Go the fuck to sleep. I'm gonna have Samuel L. Jackson read the whole damn book to you over and over and over again.
So she's humming. She's
little demon.
Go to sleep, little demon.
She's humming, and the experience of being hit by this wave of just, there's a physical portion of it in respect to the energy that is transferred, as your will is just kind of used to just push the demon back and at bay. And she's mid-hum, silence happens. And for just a second, her eyes open, and Sling is there.
Hocus sort of collapses back against the wall and is just like,
Sling? Sling, are you there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sling.
What
White.
the hell happened?
White. Man. He. White.
What about him? Can he help, or did he do this to you? Or
No.
both?
No.
Do you need anything?
Haven't long. It hurts. It hurts. It's claws. Sharp claws. White man in looking for help, please. Help.
cannot stay in this room.
And as you begin to get sick, Hocus, and you're feeling uncomfortable with the situation, you turn your gaze away from...
Yes,
Well, thank
now.
you, thank you, Mushu. You turn your gaze away from... all right, cat, shut up. You turn your gaze away from Sling's body, and the quieted demon, and you look and you get a glance outside as there's somebody in the ghost field outside looking in at you, at all of you.
And the telescoping handle of the what is basically a shepherd's crook portion of his ghost hook is and it's out full extension, and he's ready, staring at the door.
The shape sees you, moves away from the window. You've clearly threatened it, and it steps away.
Did it through the ghost field? Did it look familiar?
It's the hooded figure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's found us.
We don't even know who he is.
That doesn't make any difference. He's found us.
Maybe he can help?
Oh, I very much doubt it.
It's worth asking, Wrath.
We have to get to the man. Man with the bass clef.
Get through that one first.
You hear footsteps on the ceiling, and when you look up, you can see him again standing over.
Like inside the
Upside
room
down?
over, or he's upstairs?
Up on the roof.
Oh.
He's 2 stories up on the roof.
You can see him through the ghost field. You mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In real life, we can't.
Right. So I'm just basically tracking him.
Well, he disappeared from the door. He's now on the roof.
Right, but once I see him,
Oh yeah. He's walking, and you can see that he's walking and scanning around.
Well, I'm not willing to kind of just sit around here and let us walk around him. I kind of want to attack him.
Yeah,
There's only one man.
we kind of don't have many options, do we? Because the alternative is to, I don't know, run, hide, more.
I'm gonna whip out my blade and roll a skirmish.
well,
Ari's just gonna
on the
go for
roof.
it. Oh
He's
well,
on the
she's
roof.
gonna run at him.
Why don't we invite him in? There's 4 of us.
He's moving back towards the far end of the building,
I mean,
back towards the rear where you all came in, but he's still on the roof, 2 stories up. It's disconcerting looking at him because you're seeing him through the ghost field when you see him.
you got eyes on him, Hocus?
For now.
Well,
What if
let's
we-
invite him in.
What if
Some
we have a
tea.
conversation?
I don't know that any of you have ever dealt with someone like this before.
Well, I've done a lot of firsts in the last couple days.
Ooh.
You mean like punch a child? Joff, do me a favor when we get done with this. I want you to do me one favor.
Hit him.
I want you to go and hug Daisy really, really big after this, okay? You're gonna promise me you're gonna do that, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Okay.
queue up a tweet right now for a year today and just be like, happy child punching anniversary.
So the figure is looking around the back, and you hear a slight thump, and it looks like he's jumping across the way to the next building.
The next what?
Building behind the alley. So he's moving away from you for the moment.
Do you want me to invite him in or not?
I say we avoid him if we can.
Can we metagame for a second?
You
Is
sure
that-
can.
Is that even possible?
Inviting him in?
Well, we can invite him in, but I would
Like a
assume
vampire.
he's not going to have a conversation with us. Metagaming.
I feel like we should invite him in and just attack him. He's, well, you know.
There, I figure there are two
Come
possibilities.
sit
That's
down,
mean,
enjoy
Kayla. That's
our
so mean.
kittens and PG tips.
See, this is why
And-
Sling doesn't have friends. Because her other friends keep trying to kill each other.
So, a couple of things. One, I figure that if we were going to do that, without creating a whole new template for the channel, we could invite him into the call and we could just hear him and he could
Ooh.
play along with us, but we wouldn't be able to see him.
Yeah.
Trance powder
Oh,
through the door.
that won't work well in the ghost field. But anyway, 2, accounting for stream delay, that poor son of a bitch. He could just tell us in chat what he's doing, or Johnny in Discord what he's planning on doing. But again, we would have to account for the stream delay. So given those 2 options, obviously having him join the call and just not be visible, which,
It's kind of appropriate.
it's kind of, yeah, exactly. It's kind of appropriate. Or since we're only 20 minutes from the end of the show anyway, we
well, maybe that could be our cliffhanger, and we can work something out with our good friend for next time.
He is walking the perimeter of the building while you guys are metagaming this. I'm just letting you know that he is continuing to move around the building.
He can't do things while we're metagaming.
Oh, sure you can, because I'm putting the pressure on you guys.
Let's all
yes, I am in contact. I am in contact with Greg right now, talking about what Steam would be doing.
Let's all run outside and just jump on Steam.
Dog pile.
Dog pile.
If I weren't,
I saw that, Hocus.
if I weren't Hocus, that would be very appealing.
Right.
Very.
I honestly don't know what to do, guys. And that's still metagaming. I don't know what to do.
Neither.
There's a confrontation.
I think you need to take action. I think you need to take whatever action you think is appropriate, because I actually have a couple of responses depending upon. He and I have already talked about this, so you guys can take an appropriate action as to what you think you need to do.
I think there should be a confrontation. I mean, it really feels like that's what's being invited. I mean,
I think I can trigger that.
Go for it.
Okay. Hocus will step between the buffet that is on the table and
sandwiched
this entity who is outside, and he will extend his spiritual armor much like he did in the city, in Old Northport, to extrude the things. But he's not trying to extrude the demon. He's just trying to cloak it so that there's nothing showing in the room, that it's just an empty room, and you can't tell if there's still somebody there, or if they're shielded and moving, or whatever.
No response. He's still moving around the buildings.
I will just stay between them.
You will position yourself always so that you're basically around Sling and facing him, essentially with this. Yeah. Okay. So he continues to walk, and you realize that he's taking in the situation as you're doing that, trying to find her again. He's kind of walking around looking for her. And when he doesn't necessarily get an idea, he begins to walk back over the top of and you can see the hooded figure kind of looking down into the building.
As desperately as Hocus does not wish to do this, he's going to position himself above her. Basically,
as you do that, he begins to walk towards the front of the building, and then he disappears completely.
Not in the mood to talk.
I don't see him anymore.
What you just did, can he see us?
You don't see, well, it depends on where he goes. As long as I am between her and him, no, he can see her.
For a second, you see him at the front door, behind the front door.
And stepping up and hook back across the thing, because now there's little point. I mean, between them still, but.
And he steps away again. And he's gone.
And Hocus just kicks the door out.
Outside, you see absolutely nothing but the street. There's a little bit of commotion as the manager runs in. What's going on?
Just a moment.
Yeah, I step outside and I'm scanning the perimeter. In fact, I may even do a lap of the building.
Okay, so as you say, just a moment, the manager pulls a blade, realizing that you mean danger, and you see that it is a red sash's blade. As you step out, Wrath, and begin to walk the perimeter, as you walk around the alley, you hear footsteps occasionally. You hear scrapes, but you don't see anything. Occasionally, Hocus, as you're paying attention to your surroundings, you catch glimpses, but it keeps disappearing. You basically circle the building, Wrath, and nothing as you come back to the front door, and you're looking in as Hocus is kind of standing out and kind of looking around, standing right there with you. What are the rest of you doing for just a second?
I'm kind of standing back and letting Wrath kind of take point.
Are either of you attuning or using any relatively
good question
significant ghost ability of any kind? Like, because I know that Ari has, what is it, ghost
voice.
Ghost voice.
Ghost voice, and then you've got the ability to attune a little bit.
Yes, I'll attune. Sure. I want to roll.
Okay. Sure.
Risky standard.
In this situation, it's definitely risky. The effect is going to be standard, though, because you don't know necessarily what you're going to see. You know that it's more than just, it's something enough to spook both Hocus and Wrath.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm not going to push myself or do anything dumb. Bonus dice.
Dumb, you say? What? It's fun. Do the dumb.
Why, that's our speciality.
Yeah.
Right.
Dumb? We don't do dumb. We do this is the usual.
Can I get a
Dumb's
bonus
my
die
middle
for?
name.
Can I get a bonus die for like having seen him physically as well?
Not in this particular case, because he's actively using a couple of abilities that make it incredibly difficult to keep an eye on him anyways, even if you're attuned to the ghost field. So,
I mean, I'm standing right next to the guy, if that's any sort of like backup of sort.
Yeah, it's not going to have an effect like that. Not in this particular case.
No, I
All
didn't
right,
think
I
so.
can't think of any other reason for a bonus die unless anyone else can.
We can't use love and hugs again, can we?
No, just gonna roll it. 3. All right, so.
All right, so when you attune, all you're seeing is blurs. You don't see anything real, but you do catch a blur of something, as just for a second, you catch something behind the manager that's standing in the doorway, and immediately, Hocus, you hear the sound, and you see the manager being pushed over, and for just a second, you see a flash of the figure again in the hood, and he disappears.
Swing hook.
Okay,
I'm
roll it.
going to hook him,
Roll it.
which is what? Skirmish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or finesse, maybe.
It doesn't matter. They're the same. Risky standard or risky desperate?
This is desperate. This is desperate because not only are you're basically trying to hook somebody who you're not really sure if you can, physically, you're going to reach out and you're going to try to hook him, but you've got the manager in the way, and he's exhibiting abilities that if you have any experience with, you've never had them used against you in this way before.
I know of them, but I've never fought against them.
Exactly. So this is a desperate situation.
Standard, limited, great, extreme, or zero.
I don't know. What does the table think? Because this is a situation where in his desperation, something really awesome might happen. But also, he doesn't know there's so much inherent risk in this that even if he's successful, there may not necessarily be a big benefit to it.
I'd call it standard, I think.
Okay.
So I'm leaning towards that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. So go ahead and unless you want to take a devil's bargain or push
Actually,
yourself,
I'm just gonna say straight up, no bonus dice.
okay,
For this roll.
and be okay. A 5.
That doesn't seem like you at all.
No, it doesn't.
All right. So you swing out, and as you're reaching for him, you catch onto him, right? But he just kind of twists as he's caught in it, and he's pulling you back. He actually is grabbing onto your lightning hook, and you feel him pulling you back. And there's this struggle back and forth. And for anybody else looking at this, who's not looking in the ghost field, who cannot see in the ghost field, all they see is your hook out and you struggling with something, right? And he's just pulling you back and forth, trying to, remove himself, but he can't. And so instead, he begins to move forward and make an attack towards you. And so as he basically just moves into the hook, still holding on, not allowing you to hook his actual spirit, but moving in, he comes up with a blade and begins to take a swing at you. You're going to get an opportunity to respond. What do you want to do?
Not get stabbed.
So are you essentially just, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to roll out of the way? Are you trying to avoid the attack altogether?
I would say, evade, basically. Just because I don't think that, Hocus is not that strong.
Right.
So strength on strength, he knows he probably can't win.
Right.
So it's more of a redirection of force.
Okay. So this seems to me one of those cases where I think Prowl is going to be, no, maybe not.
Is Wrath anywhere near this scuffle?
You're watching the struggle happen in front of you.
Because I've never gotten to use my bodyguard ability.
Okay.
Which would allow me basically to assist Hocus by imposing myself. Which means if anyone gets stabbed, it's me. But it gives me +1 die to resist.
Okay, so you're going to jump in front of him as he takes this. So here's the thing: the difficulty with me.
But I can't see it, can I?
Right. You can see the struggle. You might be able to react to Hocus trying to react. So if Hocus is struggling with Steam, we're going to just name him. If he's struggling with him, and he is, they're having this, and all of a sudden Hocus is having to move back as if he's being attacked, you would actually see that, and you could respond to that.
Perfect. That's exactly what I do. Is literally. Whatever distance that is, I'm sprinting to intercede. Okay,
so you intercede between the two of them. So that means that you're adding a +1 to whatever his roll is, or +1 die to his roll?
Yeah, and either I could roll with the +1, or I can give it to Hocus to get an additional die for his resistance.
Okay, so this is, again, one of those situations where I'm unsure of exactly whether it should be prowess or a specific skill or a specific action like skirmish. What does the table think should happen here?
I think that since all Hocus is trying to do is just not be where the blade is going, that we would use finesse.
Okay.
And that if it's a success, that Hocus does not get stabbed, but they lose track of where he is. He just disappears again. If it's a failure, Hocus does get stabbed and then suffers whatever.
But so Wrath is stepping in, and Wrath would actually take the injury because he's actually stepping in for this. He's
Okay,
using his bodyguard ability.
Okay, it sounded like one or the other thing, that he could either give me +1 or he could take +1.
Right. So, his action is you're avoiding, right? So you're going to roll the finesse. Okay, Mushu, hush. You're going to roll the finesse. Wrath is going to come in and intercede. He's going to add an additional die to your roll, is what I'm suggesting.
Actually, reading from the book, guys, basically, the protect teamwork maneuver. This is what bodyguard is. It lets me face the consequence for a teammate. So if the attempt is to stab Hocus, Wrath would get stabbed. And then if I choose to resist that consequence, the ability gives me a +1 to the resistance roll.
Okay, so here's what happens then. From a narrative perspective, you see Hocus struggling with steam. You don't see steam. Hocus, you see it, and you begin to see him make a move with a blade.
Right.
At that, you respond and immediately step back, at which point all instinct takes over for Wrath, and he steps in. But before that happens, as the blade moves forward and Wrath steps in front of you, you see him disappear again. And your lightning hook drops for just a second. And then you hear over the body of Sling the following. I have you, sister. You are safe.
What?
And the body of Sling disappears. And that's where we're going to end it.
I hate these ghosty fucks.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Would you like an answer to that question? Because I have one. It's about 1,500 years worth of answer.
Why can't we be friends?
Kind of surprised that Steam didn't stab me. Huh.
He's just a misunderstood guy. He's a nice guy.
He was obviously trying to protect his sister. Shit. Okay.
Dear Lord.
All right.
Dear Lord.
Hate you.
Okay.
What? I had nothing to do with it. You guys went to Crow's
I
Foot?
didn't say you, Johnny.
You did say you. I specifically heard the word
mostly
you.
impartial.
I hate you, Lou.
I've done 0 things.
Okay.
I think I hate Grimjack more.
Okay. So, with that in mind, let's move on to XP.
I was going to say, downtime? No.
Score complete. Well done, everybody.
Well, technically, you got to safety. So that could be considered the score, and we'll talk about downtime next week.
We could have just gone and gotten my parents, and also, you had to break a deal with a demon.
What did you bloody want there? It's not your parents.
She told you, actually. She actually told you.
Wait, what?
With words.
When Sling woke up for just a second, she told you. Did anybody hear it?
I heard the ramblings of a mad woman.
Sling, do you want to tell them what they actually missed?
I'm going to be rewatching the episode.
Well, how much would I be telling them now?
Fair point.
If you don't want to repeat it, we'll all just recheck the episode.
Because if I repeated it in Sling's words, it would just be even more confusing now. And if I repeated it in meta words, it would probably be actually even more confusing than that. So,
so I know what I thought I heard.
Go ahead. What did you think you heard?
I thought I heard dead.
I don't remember hearing that.
I thought I heard bright or white.
Oh, that part.
Oh,
that part.
She definitely said the white man, the man.
The
of
white
light.
Yeah, boy.
But I
There you go.
know that much. But like that doesn't actually.
No, it's not really.
I said
Wait a second.
wants to find, and then I
Yes.
kept rambling on about white, man,
And
man,
help.
man, white,
And
ooh,
help.
help.
There's the word help.
Help was there.
Okay, so let's start with XP. Let's start with I don't know who wants to go first around the table.
Whatever,
God
I'll do it.
damn you guys! Good start, Speedy.
All right. No desperate actions. Address a challenge with calculation or conspiracy. I'd
You
say,
conspired against the demon.
yeah, when trying
So-
to convince them that we weren't actually going to the Dimmer Sisters when we were and weren't. And then possibly again when we met the people with the red sashes.
Okay, I agree with that. That's 2.
Okay, and then police drives heritage or background. Hocus asked if I was willing to risk them taking my sister. The answer was no.
That almost could also be considered struggling with your vice. So that's either or. I was actually going to bring it up as your vice, a situation with your vice. So I think it fits at least 1 XP either or. So if you can come up with other ones for police drives heritage and background, then you can get another one specifically from your vice.
Right. Other things with beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, though. I can't think of... Oh, I mentioned Martin Gull. That's one.
You did mention Martin Gold. You also were the one suggesting that you go to the Dimmer Sisters.
Yes.
So
That's
that's
my
reaching far
past.
back.
Yeah.
That's background.
Sure.
That's total background.
All right, and then one for the struggling with my vice of my sister. Cool.
Right. So that sounds like 5.
That's it for me.
Okay. So let's go ahead and skip over to go to Trendane.
I'm gonna take a page out of Grimjack's book and say, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Fuck was that last night, man? You had shit you were doing everywhere. No, I didn't do it. Fuck you. Yes, you did. All right, sorry.
Thank you for saying that. I said the exact same thing, and thank you, Trendane, thank you.
Right. Same goes for you, lady. You Gill. You start. All right, now. The shit that we're supposed to be doing right now. Desperate actions. I think I had 1.
Yes, that was the circumstance around the trying to hook
thing.
Steam.
Right. Yeah, I guess that was a little desperate.
Just a tiny bit.
And it should be noted. It should be noted that I had been told that she was getting kidnapped, so I had to keep everything playing towards that end. So I was like, how the hell can I deal with it? Because I was thinking, okay, so Hocus is falling backwards, and Wrath comes in from the side and just knocks him into the room where she is. I'm like, no. Well, actually, yeah, it worked really well. But anyway, address the challenge with knowledge or arcane power, maybe once or twice. We call that 2. Express your beliefs, tries to kill. Yeah. So, but 1 or 2 for that.
I think there were multiple occurrences where you were dealing with it, so I think you deserve 2, because the one that stood out to me specifically was your expressing Hocus's reaction to the Red Sash / Peruvian Consulate Major, right? Mm-hmm. Not only the greeting, but also the reaction, that you expressed when he said that he knew your family.
Right. Which he probably wouldn't have said that if Hocus hadn't changed into his Whisper Guard, because his robes are his family, colors and whatnot.
Exactly.
If you want to know what those look like, go look up Morgan Freeman's character in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's those grays and blues. That's what all of his stuff looks like. Anyway, issues from my vice, trauma. No, wasn't any of that.
Okay.
And so that will do it for me.
Sweet. All right, let's move down to Miss MadameGandalf.
Well, the thing is, I don't think I really did do anything. I didn't roll a desperate action. I didn't address any challenges with deception or influence.
You tried to deceive the demon with Sky and the rest at the beginning.
Yep.
It was like, no, don't worry, child. We're gonna get your parents, and then you didn't.
It's true.
That was more a bluff, but I'll take
But
it.
still,
I'll
you
take
did say.
Yeah.
I'll take it. All right. But yeah, expressed beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I was just a cocky bitch.
There you go. That's 2.
There's your beliefs and drives.
Yep.
Did it?
And I didn't struggle with any vital traumas.
Okay. So, but it sounds like you got 2. You did do stuff.
See,
I spoke words and it turned into things.
Different weeks happen with different things. You know, it's all good. It's all good. All right, let's move on to, and I'm not going to say it. I want to say it really bad, but I'm not going to say it. We're going to move on to Joff. I was going to say something about punching, but you know.
And yet you
Mr.
immediately
Child
start
Puncher.
to.
Did I roll a desperate action? No, I did not.
No.
At the end of the day, you address the challenge with violence or coercion.
Well, I don't know. Did you?
Could
Do
we
you-
How many
protect?
children did you punch?
Do
today?
you think there was
How
any
many?
violent actions on your part today?
Could we
Do you?
pretend that didn't happen? Can we
Yes.
like meta and just flash back and say that I did not do that?
Ew.
I love that it happened so
You know what?
much.
I told you, Joff, you have to promise me you go and give Daisy a big
Yeah,
hug when you get
I
done with
will.
this. It'll help.
And you know what? I want a minute to talk about that because I felt like shit since I did it. So here's the justification. The moment that the moment that Grin saw this happening to Sling and realized this isn't a child. This is so not a child. The moment that she started reacting that way to not going where she wanted us to go, and this very serious demeanor came over as Louise, as you were portraying it, I knew something was wrong, and I just happened to have this funky new ability where I can punch ghosts, so I thought it was a good idea.
And it was.
To be fair, I encouraged
Yeah.
you a lot.
Yeah,
We all
Sling,
did.
you know.
For the sake of the audience, Alex was kind of egging me on.
I was in the like little chat going, "Do it, punch her,
Punch it.
just do it."
Punch the kid.
Now,
Sling
in
would have
truth,
understood. She'd have been like, you
Yeah.
know what? I'd have done this.
You-
I'd have punched a kid too if it had a
That's-
demon in it.
This is
I'd
why
have punched a kid without a demon in it.
when I
It's
heard
fine.
in the straw poll that it could affect Sling, how Sling thinks of Grin, that's what I voted for. I went to the poll and I voted for it because Grin likes Sling, but they had their little buddy cop adventure.
Oh, they did.
Goats, and
Bloody corpse.
this will be interesting if Steam and Sling are off doing their own thing. It's going to be interesting to see how this affects Ross.
since you mentioned Buddy Cop, I will liken it to the beginning of the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves.
Yes,
His solution: shoot the hostage.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
as
And
well
he's right. You know.
with the thing that's currently in the lead. It could end up that there is some ramifications on Sling and Grin / Roth / Jinx's relationship.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I just
I
checked that, and that's a huge fact. So, Joff, I want to give you a little bit of a level of comfort. I realize that it's an uncomfortable situation that you just put yourself in by
Uh-huh.
doing that, right?
Uh-huh.
And when we talked about the kids getting quote unquote murdered when the tower fell, you were also incredibly uncomfortable. And there's a lot of things about this game that make people uncomfortable.
It can be a very dark game, and we've been exploring some very dark themes. And at some point, the fun only goes so far, and then it becomes like, oh yeah, that's horrible.
Right. So there is this balancing act of doing terrible things and feeling comfortable with it, and doing
Yeah.
terrible things and not feeling comfortable with it.
Yeah.
When we cross that line, just as much as you might feel that there's a problem, we'll let you know too. We're here to help. We're here to do this together. I think everybody thought that it was actually the right thing to do from the character's perspective, especially given what Lulu was doing with the Esther / demon thing that was going on.
Especially since this creature started issuing threats, and it's like, that's not a child. A child wouldn't be threatening us. A child would continue to be confused. But the whole thing with this ancient song and just that attitude, I had to punch it.
Yep, exactly.
Had to the job.
I had to punch it. So yeah, punching Sling is bad. Punching the demon, not bad. I don't feel guilty about punching the demon, and I'm amazed that crit was wonderful. So yeah, back to my XP. I deserve that XP.
You do.
Otherwise, beliefs, drives, heritage, backgrounds. Nope, didn't touch on it at all this week.
You did have a bit of a reaction when the news came in about the Scotlanders.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of a reaction.
Yeah,
And
you
Were
were.
you looking at his
when-
camera feed?
When I said my plan,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Sky. Okay, I'm happy to take XP for that because, yeah, I did have a reaction to that because, well, actually, it ties back to, the two people running for alderman. I know the name of one of them. I've worked for one of them. That brings us back to Raymond. So
Exactly.
if it was between Raymond and this guy that wants to stitch up the Scotlanders, guess who I'm going to be voting for? Guess who I will go and support? And that could be really interesting.
Oh, gosh.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll take an XP for that. I'm happy to. And then issues with my vice. I drank a lot this episode, but I wouldn't say that was an issue. I say this every week. It's just the thing. It's just the thing that Grin does. He just drinks. So I'm happy taking 2 XP.
Okay. All right, cool. And finally, the woman of the hour. What do you think, Sling? What do you deserve this time around?
Well, firstly, the name's not Sling.
Oh, I'm sorry.
we're giving XP
Esther.
to Esther.
And the name's not Esther either. Esther is a child.
Actually,
real
this
name.
brings
No,
up
I'm not a
this brings
child.
up a little conversation that you, Trendane, and I should have privately about the naming of demons, because he and I just had a short conversation about that as well. So
Like
we will
5
talk
days
separately.
ago.
No, it was yesterday. Shut up.
Feels
Anyways.
like 5 days because I've been waiting to have the conversation.
I know.
Anyway, go XP.
No desperate actions. Tracking or violence. Well, there was a bit of tracking at the gondolier bit when I was like, well, I know what I'm tracking and I know that you ain't taking me the way that I'm tracking, so
Sure.
F y'all. So there's one. I don't think there was any there was threats, but there wasn't any violence on the thing's part.
Violent words.
Violent words. Now, my question is, when it says express beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, is that the beliefs, drives, heritage, or background of Sling, or the beliefs, drives, heritage, background of what I'm
Yes.
playing as currently?
Yes. So in my mind, and I think the table is going to agree with me on this one,
They know what's good for them.
you are not Slade. I am not going to harass you about things and threaten your character off screen. You expressed beliefs. You expressed all of those specific.
Categories.
You expressed all of the.
Free kittens. TM.
I've got one right here. I'm gonna give away my cat. You
All
guys are
right,
more than
here we
welcome
go.
to.
Johnny has confirmed that there are free kittens for subs, and he's giving
Perfect.
them away.
Just remember to
Just
DM
at Minisbot. Wait, what was the ad again?
I don't remember.
something.
It's like
Minisbot.
Tobna Squat or something like that.
God.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Canadian city.
At Mapotsend.
Mapotsend. That's right. At Mapotsend, slide into those DMs and get your free kitten today.
Or when it's available.
So you spent a lot
Time
of
for
time.
subscribing.
You spent a lot of time expressing a lot of that for the demon, but you also, in the small moments when Sling actually was able to push through, you expressed a lot there too, in the span of 30 seconds that she kind of popped out. So I think that you get both. I think you get an XP for one and XP for the other, because there was a lot of that in your role playing this week.
Perfect. So vice and trauma, not particularly.
I
Unless,
can't.
like,
Go ahead.
with Sling's body now going a long time with outlaw, could be affecting her or her actual body.
That's something I didn't think about. Let's have a conversation. So I don't think it applies this time around, but let's have a conversation off screen about that and how it affects your roleplay in the future.
Okay, and then my final question is, what happens when a demon levels up?
Well,
Because that may have
Well,
just happened.
as someone who
demon-
knows this demon well,
Well, you say that.
Do you know this demon very well?
Kind of just assumed it was your demon.
There's many demons.
I know there are many.
Okay. So I think that we should also talk about that off screen, but we'll ask our resident demonologist Trendane off screen about that as well. So we'll figure that out. Let's go ahead and talk crew XP real quick, because there was some interesting things that happened again for you guys.
The crew page, where is it? There it is.
Definitely
so-
dealt with a crew of a higher tier with the Gondoliers
You did.
and the Sassers.
You also successfully smuggled yourselves into Crowsfoot.
Mm.
That's huge. So that's at least 1 XP for that.
Go big or go home, right, guys?
And I'd
Pretty
say
much.
definitely a challenge above the current station might be a demon.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Also, dealing with the Gondoliers, I think that in this particular case, because it didn't turn to violence when it could have, you're absolutely, I absolutely agree with that. Bolster your crew's reputation, so that's 2 there for this for contend with a challenge above your station. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. I'm not sure you guys came off as professional this time around, so
And also, I'd say that it wouldn't, because we're not dressed as our crew. We're dressed as people completely.
Right, I was
that
about to say,
aren't our
other
crew.
than our disguises, that was pretty damn professional. We got away with stuff because we were so well disguised. That's the only professional thing I can try and pull out of my ass here for how we did something professional. It was the best damn makeup possible because we made it.
There was some
you did
professional
smuggle
child punching.
yourself, and you did. It was a pretty professional. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys one just for that.
Yay.
Yes.
I agree. I agree.
Special effects makeup for the win.
And goals drives inner conflict or essential nature of the crew.
I think
think
you guys
so.
deserve 2.
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of possessive nature in protecting the body of Sling,
Mm-hmm.
even with the intent to hit. And again, Joff, you don't feel bad about this because at the same time, Trendane also took action with Hocus by compelling the damn thing to sleep, right? So you weren't the only one, addressing the situation with some sort of intent, a violent intent of some kind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that there was a bit of inner conflict because of how you're dealing with the situation and struggling with, well, do we just kill the body? Do we take out the demon, or do we try to save Sling?
Well, not just that, but also Hocus is just kind of reaching his breaking point and going, I don't really give a fuck about you people.
Right. I want
Right,
to leave.
exactly.
There was a
It's
lot
like,
of inner conflict going on.
Absolutely.
Wrath too. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So we advanced our true Grin. We haven't taken any upgrades since the last time either, so we're gonna need to do that. We're gonna need to double down on that off screen.
Let's talk about that off screen and get you guys advanced. Absolutely.
A demon-proof castle.
Also, Clarity GGTV, thank you for that host. You're wonderful.
Boost.
Host.
Hey,
Yeah, that's good stuff. Johnny, is there anything else you had to say?
No, I thought it was absolutely amazing. I can't wait for you guys all to find out what's going to happen.
Oh my god.
but you will wait.
Yes, you will wait a whole week.
So will you. You're the one who said you
Yeah.
can't wait, but you're going to have to.
No, I'm not going to wait a whole week. Remember, I'm actually running a one-shot on Saturday for Tales.
That's
which,
true. I'll be there too.
Which will fill in the blanks for some more stuff.
No, that's not what you said. You said you can't wait for us to figure it out. You are going to have to wait for us to figure it out. It's not like it's going to happen ahead of time.
Look, man, I get conversation in my chat all the time. I get messages from you. I get messages from Lulu. I get messages from Joff. I get messages from Speedy. You know what? The only person I don't get, actually, there's only 2 people I don't get messages from.
Oh.
And that's MadameGandalf. And,
I figure
Well,
shit
that's-
out on my own.
well, that's not
I don't
true.
need
MadameGandalf is the only one now. She's a busy woman.
Would
She's a
you
busy
would you
woman.
prefer that I didn't do that?
Oh, no, I absolutely love it.
Aha.
Shut up.
Okay. You just
Okay,
told
Speedy,
me.
I'm gonna hand it back to you.
All right. Let's go around to everyone here and get your guys' thoughts on what went down today and your hooks and plugs and all that. Starting with Trendane.
Oh.
Yes, you.
Well, my thank you. My hook was used earlier. I was trying to use my hook on Steam. It's very difficult to hook Steam, by the way. Just saying.
Don't talk about your plug. Don't.
I wasn't going to, but since what is it with you two? You tell me not to talk about something and then you immediately bring it up.
This
Anyway.
ain't the time.
So I am a professional voice actor and narrator. Speaking of narrating, I just today a new episode of the Escape Pod podcast was put up on their site, and I will post that link in the chat. And you guys can go. I narrated the middle part of the story, so that's lots and lots of fun. There are other things in the works that I can't talk about that hopefully will be amazingly goddamn cool. And then probably sometime next month in October, I have been asked if I want to go to a local convention and basically take part in panels and roundtables regarding voiceover work.
Nice.
So I'm probably
Cool.
going to go do that.
Please tell us when that happens so that we can all come and attend, those that are local.
That would be Convolution in San Ramon, California on the weekend of the 6th through the 8th. And I'll tell you about it later, too.
Wonderful. Madame.
We all know the drill. As you know, my name is MadameGandalf. You can catch me as MadameGandalf. And on all platforms, I am a fellow variety streamer. And I freaking love Ari so much that I've even roleplayed as her on my stream myself. So...
Wait a minute. Do you knock people out in your stream with Transpouter? It's a great way to
certainly
get
keeps
subscriptions.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Why
Yeah,
haven't we
free
tried
kittens.
this?
Thank you, Streams and Ninja, by the way. Johnny will be sending you free kitten shortly.
Excellent.
But I just really love this crew. We've become a bit of a punching bag for Team Shroud, but I wouldn't be a punching bag with anybody else.
Oh,
Aw.
we're just a terrorist organization.
I have to pause for a second and say, Madame Gandalf, who threw the first swing?
Hey, that was one like little slap. Since then, it's just like the punches that kept going. You're just like, they're dead already.
It was kind of like, oh, slap across the face. Oh, dead body.
I believe that's her way of saying, it's me. That would be the TLDR to your question. It was me. All right, go ahead.
I'm done. Go over to Joff.
So I punched a kid.
That you did.
I have to come to terms with that. What a fucked up game. My name is Joff. You can find me here on Twitch, where I continue to procrastinate about streaming and thus don't. Actually going to fix that next Monday, where me and Ayami will be streaming, talking about branding her channel. And that's all her fault. She bullied me into it. So...
Does that mean I have to bully you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's literally the only way to actually get me to do anything is to bully me. You will find me over on Twitter talking about tea and toast, and dice, and Dungeons and Dragons, and mental health. And literally last night, I just hit 3K followers.
Nice.
So I'm really chuffed about that, and I have no idea. I know that 2,900 of them, I know why they follow me, because they're bots. But the 100 people who are actually real, thank you very much, because that's crazy to me, especially given the content and of the nonsense and the waffling and the rambling that goes out every single damn day. Thank you. for sticking with me. And there will be a huge epic dice giveaway in the very near future. I'm actually running a poll which closes any minute now for the theme of the dice I'm going to give away. And that's pretty much it. That's me. Now over to the person that I punched. Hi, Lulu.
Hello, I've been punched. I'm Louise/Lulu/AccidentalLegend on Twitch /No More No Less on Twitter. That's more spelled MOORE. I've had fantastic time today. I feel bad about like hijacking the entire episode, but in my defense, we could have just gone to Esther's parents and everything would have been fine. So and also I believe there's a sale on right at the thing with the merch, wow, shirts,
Oh yeah.
That was the best, like
That's becoming a GIF.
620 merch is, I believe, on sale currently, so get yourself some hot new threads. If you wanted to find me in other places, if you think, gosh darn Louise, just can't get enough, I need a little bit more, you can find me here, you can find me on my Twitch, you can find me on the Wonder Quest pod, which is a new podcast, you can find me on Counter Roleplay, and you can find me on the Shroud next week. Thanks, back to Johnny.
I hate Mike the most because he has been trying to get you on his channel for so long. You are not staying there. I swear to God. You are coming
You have
back.
a curfew, young lady.
He'll bring you back with lure. He'll lure you back in.
I might also know the guy who makes it. So
Just slightly.
Connections.
just
name dropping here.
Look what we've got.
So I'd like to
bottles of-
cancel my appearance next week on the show. Something's just come up here, actually. So
God damn it. Johnny, talk
also
about
shout out to my BFF, Steam. I know you're out there.
I'm Johnny. I run the Video Store Cowboy channel. I'm also the GM for 6 and 20, which happens on Wednesday nights here. Wednesday nights on Unmade Gaming. Sorry, Thursday nights here. It's been a long week so far. On Saturday, we'll be on Unmade's channel for a 12-hour stream with a one-shot from Tales of the Dark. And next week, yes, it is happening next week. It is official. There will be a Tuesday crew. They will be starting up next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Along with that, as Sling already announced, or Lulu already announced, she will be making an appearance on next week's show because, yes, that was Steam. And Grimjack was messaging the both of us privately, helping us get to the point. And once they decided that it was what they wanted to do, we did talk to Mike and we did talk to Speedy, and everybody's cool with it. So it is
it's
happening.
technically not even Sling that's going because Sling is currently disguised and Sling also isn't Sling. So it's a whole can of worms.
It's someone who's kind of vaguely resembles maybe Sling. And will be on track.
Is
Her
Steam
distant cousin.
Sling's sister or the demon sister? Who knows?
Find out next
Find out
week.
next week.
Another exciting episode of 6 and 20.
I hate all of you. Just
Well,
kidding. I
wait,
love
wait.
all of you so much.
I love everyone.
I would like to note that Mr. Grimjack is constantly dropping a mic in chat over and over.
That's
I don't know what he's been doing.
Very
This-
disrespectful to audio.
That can break the microphone. Do you
These
know how
are very
expensive those are?
expensive. Yeah.
It's an unbelievably disrespectful. Not only,
Wasting money.
yeah,
God.
I can
Sorry,
never love
think
that.
Think of the children that you can raise bits for.
Also, hashtag God Squad.
God's
God damn it.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so make sure you guys go follow Mike at Unmade Gaming, where you can see the Shroud side of the story, where you will see Louise over there next week. God damn it.
It's the first crossover. Proper wow.
Wow.
Unmade Gaming's right. Louise, stay away from Steam's eyes. Don't go anywhere near his eyes.
Yeah, they're made of lure. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, well, sucks to be him, doesn't it?
Well, no.
I'm gonna come back with some eyes, boys.
Ooh. Go
I'm
ahead.
coming back with that. It's just like the Walking Dead with the ears necklace. She just comes back with 2 eyes, like dangling from her neck.
And just doesn't explain it ever.
Okay.
She's just like, oh no, I just found these on the
Speedy,
street.
quick, before we get into another story, get us the fuck out of here.
Yes. Go follow Unmade Gaming. Go follow Video Store Cowboy. He will be starting the new crew. I have talked with a couple of the people who are involved, and I'm very excited. Some really, really cool people out there. What? What are you laughing about? Who do you think
I just saw Joff's tweet. I'm sorry. It was the first time I've ever been made a GIF out of. You know, it's all good. It's all good.
Proud of you.
Shut up.
We'll be back next week on this channel with more. You can tune in more on this channel before that to see me playing games of things sometimes. And make sure if you are an artist or a writer or a cosplayer or any of those things, get in on the fan art giveaway that's going on right now. There's been one really cool submission so far of Sling with a dire pug.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
awesome.
So
As soon as my
competition is
printer's working, I'm actually getting it printed out and I'm putting it on my wall because it's so good.
It's amazing. But get in on the 6 and 20 art giveaway. If you enter a piece of art, whatever it may be, whether it be writing, music, whatever.
Actually, we just got our second one. Actually,
Oh, did we
what?
now?
just came across. It's one of Wrath.
Wait,
So, man,
I will
alright.
try and post that in chat for you guys.
Yeah,
What?
do that.
that already happened. Dang it, sneaky.
But yeah, go get in on that. You can win a copy of Blades in the Dark, the system that we have been playing, if you are so inclined, which is such a fantastic system, which is why we're doing it. So, thank you all. I think that is all we have for today. We're gonna go ahead and
One
raid.
quick last thing. Very quick, very small. If you do want your free kittens, please remember to DM at Mapotsend
At the pot send.
before the end of
Very
the day.
important.
And don't
Very
forget your
important to DM
hashtag
pot
PG
send.
tips.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag PG tips. Make sure you tag PG tips in whatever you do involving
Oh
6
God,
and 20.
no.
Actually, they responded. I think it was to MadameGandalf, didn't they? They actually responded positively.
At
Yeah.
some point, yeah. Well, when we were
They've been
just
sending us some
praising
nice
them.
things occasionally. They're just like, thanks, and we're like, we love you.
That's not the way I heard it. I heard it as thanks.
Like, oh, all
It was
right.
an awkward thing where we were just like, hang on, like somebody here says that like they like your tea. We've been telling you for ages that we like your tea. We love your tea, PG tips. We would have no other tea. Even throughout the globe of New Zealand, the US, and the UK. So
Mm. And they're just like, cool.
Thanks.
yeah. It's-
We're making progress. We're making slow but steady
It's-
progress.
we'll get
We'll
there.
chip it
PG
away,
Tip
chip it
sponsorship
away.
soon. We haven't had nearly enough tea on the show in this season, but it'll be back. It
That's a
will be.
shame.
But we are going to go ahead and send a raid over to Actual Play, where I
Oh.
believe Sean Nittner, who
Heard
is
of him?
he's works with Evil Hat, who's one of the producers, or he helped produce this system, Blades in the Dark. He is currently playing.
Once it's clear, we launch back
Oops,
in.
sorry.
Are they
He
playing
is.
Scum and Villainy?
They're not playing Scum and Villainy right now. It is Big Bad Con Online at Atlas Reckoning. I don't know what that means, but it seems cool. There are cards and such, and assumably really awesome people, because Sean does some amazing work. So we're gonna go ahead and send him a raid. If you have the sub emote, feel free to substitute that. I really should redo the command so that it does one with it, but I'll get there. Oh hey, the raid command is doing weird things too. Anyways, we're gonna go over there. We are gonna go over there. So thank you guys so much for coming out and watching. I will see you all next time. keep an eye out for Unmade Gaming to see Louise again. And make sure you stop by Unmade Gaming on this Saturday to see me doing things as part of his 12-hour charity stream where I will be playing as the inventor of the drug known as Lure, Marie Krasba.
Goose Fraba.
So yeah, that is all we have for today. Thank you guys so much as always. And no matter what happens out there, don't forget to take it slow.
Oh, hug a
Bye.
child.
Oh, yeah.